Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Bros podcast. How you doing, fellas?
How you doing?
What's up?
I feel like
Introduce us this time.
I know I need like a deeper voice.
Do we need any introduction at this point? I mean, it's TJ, Chad, Levi. I mean, I'm going around the table clockwise this time.
That's right.
But
Okay. To show no favoritism.
Least importance to most important.
Oh shit!
Bam.
Least
No, I'm just kidding.
That's all right.
No,
Man.
TJ is the host. This is at least important to most important is actually.
No.
Is that how it goes?
I don't know. We're
Yeah.
all pretty important.
Yeah.
It's like
It's a-
33.3% all the way around the table, baby.
It's a 3-host show.
Yeah, the whiskey's the most important part.
A dick has 3 components, and it's weird if one of the components is missing. So,
I'm the left
Yeah.
nut.
okay.
Oh, then that makes me the dick then. All right. I'm okay. I'm good with this.
Oh, let's pour us up some
All right.
drink, man.
Yeah, we
I'm
gotta get
thirsty
this right.
already.
We got Leadslingers whiskey here.
What's the story with Leadslingers? I know it has a good gun
Uh,
and the picture and everything.
Yeah, well, it's got an eagle who's holding an AR-15 with like an American flag behind him.
Fuck yeah!
So, yeah, and
Memorial Day
it's called
weekend,
Leadslingers.
baby.
Yeah.
Leadslingers whiskey was founded in 2013 by 7 combat veterans when USAF TACPS, I don't know what TACPS is, U.S. Army Rangers, Green Berets, and paratroopers combined their love for America and made a fine whiskey. LSW was born.
You're goddamn right they did.
Tired of people who are afraid to support the Second Amendment, the LSW team was focused on bringing quality bourbon whiskey to freedom-loving, like-minded individuals. Stay frosty and freedom on. Protect the USA.
Damn.
I was actually looking
America.
at this and like some other ones, but I'm like, it's Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
No,
Like, maybe I should get
I
this.
think that's a good choice.
But-
even if it's not good.
But then
it's
at the
still a
same
good
time,
choice.
I was like, but it's Memorial Day weekend. Should you be all like America, fuck yeah, on a Memorial Day weekend, or should you
It's
be?
like in memory of
Yeah.
those that died.
Yeah, you're trying to like be in memoriam. So
But you know,
Well,
what do you think they died for?
I
So we
had
could
a-
say
that's
fuck
true.
yeah and drink whiskey.
I had a debate about that at work today. Because we posted pictures of the veterans in our workplace. I'm like, Memorial Day is
Yeah, it's
about
not about veterans.
it's
That's
about
Veterans
remembering.
Day.
Yeah, exactly. That's what my argument was. And they're like, well, we should still respect our veterans. I'm just like,
Yeah,
no,
they have separate holidays for a reason. But
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to ask a. I mean, how do actual how do the veterans at your work feel about it?
they're okay with it. I mean, that it brings a little bit of more attention to their service and stuff like that. But I mean, but I don't know.
We gotta start
Did you
remember to
spill
bring
stuff,
paper
man?
towels. Well, it's just running off the edge like it
Wipe
normally
it on
does.
my pants, man.
What? No.
Just wipe it on my britches
Okay.
here.
No, I think
I'm wearing
I think
swimming
I'm,
trunks,
I think
so-
I'm not gonna do that. I don't feel good about that.
I asked my wife how I looked, and she said, "Look like you're going swimming." And I was like, "Well, I'm wearing swimming trunks." but
I agree
fucking
with it.
They're fucking comfortable, man.
They are actually swimming trunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they were just ugly shorts. I didn't know they were actually swimming trunks. That's hilarious.
Aren't all swimming trunks ugly shorts? I mean, there's very few that are just like vanilla, just one solid color or
Well,
something real basic.
I think that's your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's your time when you're going swimming. Like it's time to just wear something ridiculous.
What do you have? Do you wear something crazy on yours?
Uh,
Bright colors and stuff, or what?
yeah, I think so. Like I've got some like orange and white striped ones, and then I got some that are just like different. I don't know, like faded. Well, they're
yeah, I got some.
No, they're
that are
not that
like a,
loud.
like a fade between two colors. or
yeah,
something
that
like
kind of stuff. Like I would never just wear that out. But
Yeah,
anyhow,
but
full-
those aren't bad.
full
though.
disclosure about this whiskey, I've had it before, but it was like a long time ago. It was back in like my first kind of foray into trying and buying different whiskeys. So I'm kind of curious to see what I think about it now. I remember liking it then.
How long has
I
it
mean,
been
it's-
out? You said 2013 they got together and did this, but
It wasn't long after that when I tried it. I don't think.
so it didn't have long to age unless they bought something that was already
I think
they bought
that's-
a recipe or something.
That's usually what they do. They
Yeah.
buy some already aged because a lot of the whiskeys are actually the same thing. They buy from like this one company.
packaged differently.
Well, then they mix their own little stuff with it
yeah,
at the
right,
end.
right.
and
blend it differently and
Yeah.
stuff.
So
Well,
I don't
hey.
know. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Let's see how it does. It's not bad.
There's some weird taste that I can't.
There
I can't
are. Yeah, there's
discern.
a little bit of weirdness there.
Mhm.
I can kind of pick up on the caramel a little bit.
It's already better than that whatever we had last
Well,
Jefferson's?
Yeah, that Jefferson's.
Oh, yeah,
that Jefferson's
yeah.
was fucking
It was
rough, man.
awful. Yeah,
I mean, I finished it though. I just
Did you?
used
Did you drink the
mixers.
rest of it?
Yeah, I just used a mixer and finished it.
yeah. If you did it like that, that's fine.
I was like, I will drink it. Leave. I left it here.
I like this. I remember
Yeah.
it.
This is not bad.
I didn't
It
want to
kinda
say
reminds me
before.
of, like that Sexton Irish whiskey that you had.
It does.
There's a
Yeah,
little
very
bit of
similar.
that
Yeah.
aftertaste. in it.
like
Yeah.
a copper distilled whiskey, almost more than an oaky, because I don't really taste like a
That's what I thought. Like it
not a wood
tastes.
taste. You know,
That's what I remember. And I wish I would have said it now before, because now
Now
it sounds like
bandwagon
it.
jumper.
But I just remember thinking it seemed like it was like light. I don't really know on taste.
Yeah.
And,
This is
and
good,
so it's
though.
kind of like what Levi's saying. It's kind of like a copper stilled or
yeah,
and that, no, is that right?
yeah.
What-
Copper distilled or copper still? Yeah,
Is that what-
copper still? Yeah,
I know they make moonshine out of copper still. I don't know if they made whiskey out of it.
Well,
Well, you can't. You got to age it in something. It wouldn't be whiskey. You got to age it in some kind of oak. But they probably don't age it for very long. It's probably like you just said. It's
Yeah.
pretty new.
That's
So-
what I was thinking. They
Yeah.
probably aren't aging it extremely long
Yeah,
time.
so
Yeah.
it's not taking on those flavor notes or whatever.
Yeah, it's still closer to moonshine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good though. This reminds me, the Second Amendment. I was listening the other day. I had a playlist, and because I listen to like, some white rappers and stuff, Southern white rappers. It kicks on a few of them are like pro-Trump rappers, which is
that seems odd.
which is you don't hear a lot. But there was a lyric that made me laugh. It said I like Trump because he don't take shit like guns. I was like, oh damn, that's a pretty good lyric.
Well, he just banned bump stuff. Like he passed more gun control laws than
So that's
Obama
like
ever
That's
did.
like a little bit of a
Yeah, when Obama left office, there was less gun laws than when he went in, and now so far Trump has added more
see what's up with that, man.
than when he went in. Now, I mean, Obama's wasn't for lack of trying, but
Okay,
But
just
still,
the way,
it just-
the way Congress was.
yeah, it just didn't happen. But yeah,
Oh, fair enough. I just thought that was a funny lyric, but
Yeah.
anyways, what you boys been up to? Been watching anything new or?
Not anything new. I just been rehashing a lot of old shows and stuff like that, and
Talk about rehashing old shows. My wife's been watching freaking Home Improvement around here, and I'll like walk through and
oh, how does
and I
that
have to
age?
with Tim Allen.
Yeah, it's funny to me though.
I mean,
Is it still
it's
funny?
a decent show, but I mean, going back, that's one of the ones I don't know if it would.
Yeah, that's the
Hold
thing. I
up.
don't know if it would
Wh-
age
what I
well.
realized though is I'm more like Wilson next door than I am Tim.
I don't think anybody's really like Tim, though, are they?
I don't know, man, but Wilson's Tim asked him like, are you afraid of anything, Wilson? He said, well, I'm afraid that really everything that exists is just in one person's memory, and
That's probably that shit that went way over my head when I
Yeah.
watched it as a
Boy,
kid.
boy, Wilson's high as a kite over there on the other side of that
I
fence,
bet, he does.
baby.
I bet Wilson smokes a lot of weed back there.
I mean, Wilson seems like a weird dude. He's peeping over the fence. He's like a peeping Tom. Like, look at them kids play. Mm.
You think he's a pervert?
I mean,
I don't think he peeps at them
is,
that
is
much.
Is it just coincidence that he's looking over the fence every time that he comes out the back door?
No, Tim is always
No.
going and peeping over
Yeah,
at Wilson.
Wilson's like painting or like
Yeah.
just doing projects.
Oh, okay.
And
I
Yeah, and
remember
his-
the show completely
He
different.
has this tiny backyard, but he's productive as hell. And
he is.
yeah,
He was like painting a wooden decoy duck on the episode I was watching the other day. Like, what does he do out there in the yard? How's he keep coming up with projects?
my wife started watching Friends on Netflix, and I didn't think that was going to age well, but I was like,
It's still-
I'll watch
it's
it.
still good.
It's still pretty funny.
Really?
Yeah.
What the episode with Joey where he picks up Jennifer Aniston's book? It's like a sex book. or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, it's like a
and he's like, oh, this is how women do it. He
That's
said,
funny.
yeah. He keeps
said,
calling
so
her
smart.
porn.
Yeah, it's a porn.
Yeah, he's
That's
like, you're
hilarious.
reading porn, and it's just a romance
Oh,
novel.
Romance
okay.
novel like
But
that.
yeah, he keeps calling it porn.
It's weird to look at those and see Jennifer Aniston is the only person that's less hot when she's younger.
See, I don't agree. Like people say, like less hot. I think she's equally hot.
Okay.
I mean, I just think she's just evolved into a different kind of hot.
Okay, fair enough.
I think their whole friend dynamic that they have shuffling between apartments is completely weird.
Well, I mean, it's like they all hang out all the time.
Yeah,
I
all
mean,
the time.
It's like they don't have. I mean, they all have jobs, but it's like they really
Yeah,
don't.
their full time job is being friends.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
great.
much.
That's pretty
Yeah.
great.
it is
Yeah.
pretty great.
We should have done that instead
Yeah.
of doing what we did.
We
Yeah.
should not have jobs and live close to each other and not had responsibilities.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
That does sound awesome. We've been we fucked up somewhere along
I
the
mean,
way.
we have kids though, which are pretty great.
Yeah, all the
Well, Ross has a kid and he just
You
sees
never-
him sometimes.
you
I
never
don't.
see 'em.
I don't know.
But all,
Like every now and then he comes around.
Yeah.
well, how old are they
something.
supposed to be in Friends? Because they all seem like they're in their mid 30s even
Uh,
on the show.
Well, we were watching the earlier seasons, and I think they're all in their late 20s as far as the show's concerned.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
They're about in that area.
It's always funny on those old shows to see like 20-somethings playing high school kids too. Not
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that show, but like other shows that you'll see from back in that time. Like
Yeah.
the person's clearly 20 and they're playing like they're in high school.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why that was like okay. But like that was pretty common to see that.
Maybe it
stuff.
was easier because you don't have to deal with like child actor laws.
Maybe that was it. But like, have you seen remember that movie Scream where it takes place?
I haven't seen it lately.
It's like that horror movie.
Yeah. I haven't seen that in forever.
But I mean, everyone there is obviously in their 20s, and they're all supposed to be in high school. Yeah. Like a lot of them are pushing 30. I would say.
Varsity Blues was kind of the same way.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. But of course, I'm watching it and I'm like 13 or something. So I mean, everybody in high school looks like a grown up to me.
Right,
so
that's funny.
You don't think anything of it.
I watched a movie the other day that I had never seen. I don't know if you guys watched it. Equalizer. Have you ever seen this with Denzel Washington?
Yeah. There's a second one.
I want to watch the second one too.
Yeah.
Dude,
I've not seen the second one.
It was badass. Denzel was fucking awesome in this movie.
He has some good action movies. He really does. Equalizer is really good. Man on Fire is really good too.
I saw that one. Was that during that time where he was making like a new movie like twice a year?
Yeah,
must be because I never.
And they were all kind of. They're all kind of like.
He went
that.
on a tear there for a little while, but yeah.
But a lot of them were good. That Man on Fire. What was the one where he was like the bodyguard for that little girl? That was like my favorite one during that time.
I like John Q too, which is more sentimental note.
Yeah. John Q was good. That's the one where his son needed the heart transplant.
Okay.
Right.
What's the one I'm thinking of? That's killing me.
I don't know what that movie is. I'm surprised about it. Know.
Yeah, he's a bodyguard and like because the dad's apparently
it's not Training Day or anything like that.
No, that's a good movie too.
Movie. I was thinking of Denzel.
But that's a different movie.
Probably one of my
it's honestly the title is very similar to Man on Fire. It's something kind of like that because I remember like getting their titles confused.
Denzel Washington is the bodyguard, and like well, damn.
Yeah,
there was a movie The Bodyguard.
Deja Vu was another movie that he was in.
Yeah, that one wasn't as good though. Where there was like that one was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Well, in this Equalizer, it made me think. One thing, like he would do that neck break thing on people.
Yeah, like
so
snap. Yeah.
So it made me think like, how possible is it like to kill someone by like?
Nah, I don't. I mean, unless you're like super fucking strong. But
it's like people would be doing like neck snaps in UFC and stuff, wouldn't they?
Yeah, you got to put that in the same category of like when like somebody punches somebody and they're knocked out for like a half hour.
Right.
You know, like that doesn't.
It's still a cool movie, but it was like, what is this? He just like snap the neck there.
We don't want to kill this guy. What do we do with him? We'll just knock him out, and they like hit him with a gun, and like he's out.
Yeah.
Like this dude is brain damaged. Like this dude is not going to be normal the rest of his life.
That's funny. I do want to see John Wick 3 just because I saw the first two John Wicks.
I haven't seen the second one.
And they were just fun movies. They weren't. I wouldn't say they were good. like storyline, I wasn't just like excited, but they were just fucking.
The first one is good in the way an action movie is supposed to be. Like,
right.
You're just supposed to just enjoy it.
Well, the action sequences were not completely ridiculous.
No,
because he does take some damage, and he actually does.
He legitimately trained, does real moves in these things, and Halle Berry did the same thing for this movie, and they do like I seen him doing firearms training and martial arts training, both of them for this stuff. Like, they really worked hard.
I seen Keanu Reeves doing a lot of it for John Wick 2, and then I heard he did it for 3 too. But
yeah, and Halle Berry did also. I was seeing some videos.
I've seen his gun range stuff, and I mean, he went through a lot of those things like you've done, like the.
I thought it was not. Well, no, what he was doing was more like competition stuff, but it looks way cooler than. But I mean, he was like tearing it up. I mean, when I first saw it, I thought it wasn't actually him. I was convinced that it was just some because you never really like see his face.
Stunt double?
Right.
Yeah, like one of his stunt doubles or something. But apparently, it was really him, and it was badass. I mean, I mean, regardless if it's a competition or what, I mean, you still got to have a high level of skill to. I mean, I'm assuming he's making his hits. I mean, I guess he could have not hit anything in that video, but
that's true.
But it looked really cool.
Yeah.
And I don't, because I remember when I saw John Wick, I really thought that I'd just gotten like past like in action movies. I thought it was just too lame, too not good. And now I just realized that no, action movies just kind of fucking suck now.
You're back in on that.
Yeah, I'm like, this is actually a really, really good movie. Because it wasn't, I mean, you even take it all the way back to like the 80s when you had like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando, like he is taking on like literally an entire army by himself.
Right.
I mean, that's just fucking silly. You know, but
I was in a hotel this week, and one of the Predator movies that was like not
the second original one with Danny Glover.
The second one, yeah.
Well,
it was on TV. I saw part of it, so I'm assuming that's what.
Okay, well, it's a Predator like they're trying to figure out if it had sex with a human or something because it had some human DNA.
That must be one of the newer ones.
And like it gets up and it's like running around. It looks like just like a big muscular dude with dreads because it's running around like killing people and stuff. And I'm like.
Well, they just come
way
out
less cool than like when you didn't really see it that much, and like
wasn't there one that just came out called like Predators or something like that?
I
Which
mean,
sounds
there's
sounds
know.
like not a good sci-fi
Yeah.
movie. That
I mean,
sounds like a pedophile movie.
most of these, and I don't like
Chris
how
Hansen's
they,
in this
Yeah,
movie.
that sounds like it was about Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
I don't like how they tried to merge the Alien series with Predator at all. Like Alien versus Predator. and
Well, I
stuff
like the
that.
concept of it, but the movie was really stupid.
So did
Yeah.
they tie their stories together like they came from the same place?
well, no.
or-
What happened is in Predator 2, the one with Danny Glover. Have you seen this one?
Mm-mm.
When he
I saw the
at
first one
at the
and I
end of it,
saw part of this, whatever this one was.
at the end of, like, this is not a movie. It's really going to ruin. But at the end of it, you see the inside of the Predator ship.
Okay.
And there's all these like
Skulls.
trophies on there, and one of its trophies is obviously a xenomorph from the Alien movies, the Alien head.
series, okay.
So that got everybody fucking fired up. So and it's you got like the ultimate hunter versus the ultimate prey at the
Okay.
same. So it's kind of a cool thing,
Yeah.
but the like the movie was just really dumb.
It
Like,
was.
well, they made it PG-13 for one. That's just stupid, and I don't know. They kind of just abandoned all the.
Well, to me, there's a clear distinction between the two series because to me, like the Alien movies or whatever are definitely more in the sci-fi horror genre versus the Predators like sci-fi action.
Yeah, well, Aliens was a little more action. Well, it's
Right.
kind of horror too.
But still, the way that they kind of lurk in the shadows and like prey on you and stuff like that. I mean, very
Yeah.
much
It's funny to have the versus movies because you had
Freddy versus Jason.
Freddy versus Jason. Didn't you have like
Well, that
Batman versus Superman or something weird like that too? Or
that
like-
was recently. Yeah. Well, the Freddy versus Jason that came out about the same time as Alien versus Predator. I think that was
Okay.
right around the same area. Yeah, and they had Batman versus Superman, but that's been. I mean, that's been
I don't
ongoing,
even
like
think I
comic
ever
book wise.
watched the Batman versus Superman movie.
It's not good.
were they
I heard it
actually
was
like
terrible.
against each other?
Yeah, it's like there. I watched it,
Wait,
and
I
I mean,
might have saw part of this.
there's a really good movie in there trying to get out, but they just seem intent on fucking it up and making it shitty. Like it's.
I've honestly not seen a
It-
DC
it's
movie
dumb.
that's been that great other than
I haven't seen.
The Dark Knight was good, but I don't know how heavily influenced
Well,
DC
that's-
was in it.
Yeah, that's when. I mean, that was earlier. That's when what's his name was doing.
Christian Bale and
Well, I'm talking about the director of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
He was the one doing it, and they got after that, and then DC wanted to start getting in the pockets of Marvel
Yeah.
doing their stuff, and so they tried to like fast forward.
the Justice
They
League
just
thing.
did Infinity War, and I mean that's been going on that's been building up for like 10 or so years now.
Yeah.
Like they started like these worlds and like finally bringing them all together into one movie, and then DC tried to do that in like 2 movies.
Yeah,
I'm
really.
like you can't
Yeah, because
fucking
the Justice
you can't
League,
do that.
The Justice League movie was very sloppy.
Well, yeah, go what they had. Well, that's right. They had Superman, and then they had Batman versus Superman, which is the first time you see Batman in this universe.
Okay.
And then then they had Justice League right after that.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe they had Wonder Woman, and then they had Justice
Yeah.
League.
Which
And,
Wonder
like,
Woman was
just-
probably actually the one of the better ones that they've come out with.
I didn't see it,
was
but
not
I've heard
bad.
it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was
and
pretty
then apparently Aquaman's supposed to be good. I don't know. My wife really wants to see it, but I don't know if that's.
That, for ulterior
Yeah,
motives.
I think it's because Drogo's in it from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Y'all watch Game of Thrones or did you watch the finale?
Yeah. I mean, I've been in it since
I have
for a
no
while
clue,
now.
but everybody was like, it's so disappointing. on
Everybody's fucking. Well, everybody's disappointed in the ending, but I mean, it's been disappointing for a while now. I think
Yeah.
everybody was just ready for it. Well, it just got super disappointing by the end.
Really?
Well, I don't want to spoil it. So
well,
if anybody's listening that hadn't seen it, the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones is some of the
Great.
best TV you'll ever watch. But that's when they passed up the books, and I'm going to be biased because I've read the books, so
Okay.
I'm.
Right, because so like Stannis, for anybody listening, I mean, there are characters that they kill off in the series that are still alive in the books.
Right.
That's one thing.
Well, yeah,
And then, I mean, there's a multitude of different things.
yeah.
that are
There's
wrong with
more
it,
than
but-
that. Like I said, I don't want to get in like spoiler territory on it, just in case anybody hasn't watched it. But it's just it's like the guys that wrote it and directed. They're very good at like the visuals. And they did really well when they had an outline to follow, and a lot of it, like in the first few seasons, the dialogue was basically the book. They just they just took it and went with it. But when they had to start writing their own stuff, man, it just got fucking
Wasn't as
shittier and shittier.
Wasn't as good.
And then at the end, like these last few episodes, you had some of these amazing visuals of things. Like I said, I won't spoil, but it's ruined. It's spoiled for us watchers because you can't help but think like, why the fuck is this happening?
Right.
Like, what are they doing here?
Right.
So you've got an amazing
Is it visuals for the sake of visuals?
like if you just looked at that by itself, if I just showed you this scene, you haven't ever watched it.
Right.
So if I just showed you this, you'd be like, holy fuck, I want to watch this show. That looks amazing. But anybody that's watched it, they're like, this is dumb. Like, what is happening here? Like this doesn't even make any sense. So that's what's bad about it. Like they're trying to go for this artistic effect, but without any base to it.
Now, did you hear?
At least they ended it on top. That's kind of a neat thing. You know?
Yeah,
I think HBO is going to revisit it. I think there's going to be spinoffs, or they'll come back to the story altogether.
Well, yeah, there's already like 4 spinoffs planned. So
supposedly,
oh wow,
yeah. What's
because they left it very open ended.
What they did, and
a lot of unanswered.
I don't know enough about writing to know like what this means for the show, but I know I've talked to my wife and like other people that's watched it, and they agree with me. But like the first few seasons, what it did was it had people, the characters would do things in the show, and then later they would, they might betray somebody, they might do something different. But all the seeds were planted earlier on. And what it encouraged was a lot of this water cooler talk on Monday. Everybody that loved the show would sit around and like be like, oh, so you think this guy's really this? And you think this is that?
Yeah.
But in the later seasons, what happened was it would just cut from scene to scene, and people are basically just telling you
how it is,
what they're doing and what. So yeah, we're doing this, and we're going to betray this, and we're going to kill. I need you to kill them. And this other person's like, I think he's coming to kill us. We need you to stop it.
They're pushing the story too fast.
There's nothing. Well,
Way
there's just
fast.
well at the end they definitely push it too fast. But like there was just nothing to talk about. Like
there's no
at the end,
there's no mystery to it.
Yeah, you're just like watching it, and everybody's just telling you what they're doing, and I don't know. And that's just bad writing. It's you should love the characters and love like what's happening. It shouldn't be. I don't know. I don't know enough about writing to know what that means. Somebody that I read, they called it therefore writing is what's good. So basically like me and you, like we do this podcast. Therefore we did this on Friday. Therefore tomorrow I'm doing it wrong, but so. Say it's like, therefore we go and eat something after this. Therefore something happens while we're there.
Okay.
Therefore we decide to not go to this restaurant anymore. Therefore we miss out on something next week that happens at this restaurant. Like you see what happens.
Yeah.
And then what's bad is they said that the show changed to and then writing, which would be kind of like what Walking Dead happens. Like they went to the restaurant and then somebody came in and tried to rob the place. And then they fought them off. And then they went home. And then they found out that the robbers were actually waiting for their house on them. And then,
So it's more.
It's not layered.
It's not layered, and it's less about cause and effect and more about like, what can we do to make this twist or make this more interesting?
Right. That's what they were doing in the show later on.
Kind of like Lost.
They would do like Lost. Like something would happen, and then like toward the end of the episode, some big twist would happen. And see, in the earlier seasons of the show, something would happen, and then that would spiral off into all these characters and all these different arcs, and they're trying to, and then the consequences of this one action and different things. Like it was such like an engrossing story. But like I said, it basically turned into Walking Dead. Like that's a good way to to say it.
To be honest with you, I haven't watched the last like 2 seasons of
I just got so.
I heard the spinoff was still going on too.
It is.
Yeah, we watched some of that, and I mean it's better when you got like new characters, but then it started just turning the same fucking thing.
What's that one called?
Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's I don't know. They're just kind of all like I said, it's that and then storytelling. Like you're just sitting around waiting for the fucking twist of it.
Well, AMC was had like a great run with The Walking Dead. I mean, it's still going on, but I mean, as far as its originality, I mean, they've been trying to chase after the next Breaking Bad on that channel. I feel like, and they're trying all these different things, but none of them have really just kind of hit the same way.
And Breaking Bad was a good. That's a good. Therefore, storytelling. Like how many things like happen, and then it like spiraled into these. Like because Jesse was like, he was like, I'm gonna avenge whatever this kid, and then Walter like comes in and like kills them. Like that like the whole storyline was based off like those things and like how that evolved everybody's character.
Maybe it's about ending it at the right time. Maybe that's it. About ending a show before you have running out of ideas, and you're just like,
well, that's definitely a thing. That's not Game of Thrones problem, but that's definitely something that should happen. Yeah,
right.
And I think Breaking Bad did that. They ended it at a good time because it was it was only five seasons.
It killed it. It was great.
That was the thing. They had a plan. They had a story, a complete story to tell. and could kind of shift around some of the details. But for Game of Thrones, it was just completely made up and ad libbed the rest of the way through.
Really?
Right. There's not good writers.
Which, by the way, the writers / directors, whatever you want to call it, of the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones are the 2 guys that are in charge of the next trilogy of Star Wars.
D&D, I know. Yeah, they're doing it. No, I think it's going to be like a TV series though, right?
I heard it's going to be like that and a TV series.
So they get to break my heart like twice now.
Yeah.
So
breaking my heart,
but
baby.
maybe I don't like I said they're good at visuals. So like maybe
the fight sequences and stuff.
Maybe
like
they
are
you trying to get me to pour some more whiskey?
You need to pour yourself some more whiskey. You got an empty glass there, bro.
But if they get somebody to write it for them, it might be good. Like if they just stick with directing and let somebody else do the writing.
Yeah. If they have the visuals down.
Yeah.
That's your same complaint against M. Night Shyamalan. Shyamalan ding dong.
By the way, I never did watch Glass. I still really want to see that.
I haven't. I didn't realize it was out yet until I was at Dollar General and I saw a DVD that had Glass and the other 2 movies
all together: Unbreakable, Glass, and Split.
Yeah,
I didn't know Glass was out already either.
Yeah, it was.
It came out like right at the
evidently didn't do too well because they didn't make a big splash.
Nah, well,
things go to DVD like way faster now than they used to because pretty well as soon as they come out of theater, they go to DVD. I mean, like
I don't even do that. I rent things off Amazon.
Well, yeah, I mean, I rented off, but I remember like when Infinity War came out last year, like I watched it on Amazon. Like I feel like just a few months.
Movie that just came out.
Well, what just came out was the second one.
It's called Endgame. But yeah,
okay.
So
me and my wife watched that last weekend.
So
was it good?
Really good. Really good.
Yeah, Steven had talked up a lot. And
I seen a couple of grown men on Facebook saying how they were crying and they during it.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, it got to me. There was a part there.
I cried during movies, but I was like, that's not a movie I would have expected to cry during.
Well, I wouldn't. People said that, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, because their favorite whatever died or whatever. No, they do a good job. It got me. I mean, I wasn't crying, but I was doing the whole like I gotta sit up straight and gotta. All right, I'm good. I'm a
Marvel girl in all this.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that's her name.
Jean Grey.
No, Jean Grey.
X-Men.
Jean Grey is from X-Men.
I thought Marvel Girl and Jean Grey were the same person.
No,
there's Captain Marvel, which is a different person. But I think wasn't Jean Grey not known as Marvel Girl for a little bit, or was?
Yeah, I had
look up Marvel Girl.
I do know that Captain Marvel gives Rogue a portion of her powers.
Right now,
I'm stupid on this, but I used to have some like cards, some Marvel cards, and I had a Jean Grey card, and I thought it said.
I think you're right. Look that up real quick, Levi. See, just look up Marvel Girl and see if that's not Jean Grey. I think you're right.
Flexing my comic book.
I kind of forgot about that, but yeah, I think he's right. I don't know.
I don't know either. I went to Lucas Nelson concert. My parents took me for my early birthday present.
I don't even think I know who that is.
I played Jim before. Willie Nelson's son, Lucas Nelson.
Oh, okay. I do.
You are correct in that. It says the character has been known under the aliases Marvel Girl, Phoenix, and Dark Phoenix.
Listen to TJ laying down.
Y'all don't know shit about
laying down
boys.
The comic book knowledge.
Y'all don't know shit about comics. I know everything there is to know about them.
Apparently, I. Well,
you did actually.
You're definitely more well versed in it.
Give me props.
I didn't know that at all.
I
was always just known as Phoenix or Jean Grey.
But I'm a huge nerd though. I'm probably nerdier than I don't know. I'm nerdier than Levi. I'm definitely nerdier than you.
I attribute everything I know nerdy to you though. I remember I was just thinking about this the other day. I traded like every Atlanta Braves card I had to you, so you would give me a Magic the Gathering deck of cards because you had Magic cards and you liked the Braves.
I remember. Oh, is that where that deck of cards come from? I still have that.
You have my Braves cards?
Dude, it got fucked up. I just found them not that long ago because I put it in the attic.
That's crazy.
And then this is how my brain works. I decided I needed to make like a tub of like stuff I didn't really want to throw away, but I needed to put it up in the attic.
Right.
Well, I put those cards in it. I didn't even remember where I got them from. They were in it. And then I had somebody gave me when I was a kid a Coca-Cola can of the Atlanta Braves when they won the World Series.
Okay.
And for some stupid reason, I put the can in the attic.
Oh no!
And dude,
you got too hot.
This thing had been up in the attic for months. I'm laying in a dead asleep, and I wake up thinking about this can and how fucked it. And I'm like, fuck. And then I'm like, well, shit. Like if it's blown up, it's fucking blown. It's blown up now. And then so then like in a couple of days when I like decided like, well, it's time to see like what's happened here. Go up there. Sure enough, it did blow up, but it didn't like explode. It apparently just kind of like oozed out.
Okay.
So it got like the cards, some of the cards like on the bottom and like some things like that, but it didn't like completely fuck the whole thing up. But yeah, that's funny. I just saw those cards. I had no idea where I
knew you
got
like
them
the Atlanta Braves, and I wanted to get it to play Magic because you taught me how to play, and I didn't have my own deck. So that was my fastest way to do it. So I traded you all those cards, and you gave me a pretty decent deck. I was able to play. And then my dad saw him and thought I was worshiping the devil and took them from me. and like throw them away or something.
So much.
So I was out of my Braves card and my Magic cards.
Magic cards are so. Did you ever play that, Levi?
I had them, never played it because most of my friends didn't play it.
Didn't play it. Yeah.
They collected it. Like, look at this cool. It was almost the same way like Pokemon cards. It's like, oh, look at that. I got this.
But nobody played it.
Nobody really played it.
It was a lot of fun. But they finally just released like a Magic online.
Oh, wow.
Where you can do it. And I downloaded it and, you can get like a lot of stuff for free. And I started playing it and I play it some, but it's just something just kind of lost by not having like the actual cards in your hand. Yeah. You're trying to make a deck, but like you can't like, I don't know, like I just remember, having them all laid out on my bed and like going through and I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just not the same.
I read about how Magic kept their game relevant. Like how do they keep you buying cards? Because eventually everybody's decks are too good and everything. But for tournaments and everything, they made you had to be playing with the current year's cards.
So
they
like
just your cards had an expiration date.
So it's almost like a salary cap in a way. You're kind of putting a cap on the talent that you can have.
So once you're, you can still play, with your friends at home, but like if you wanted to enter tournaments and things like that, your cards had an expiration date essentially.
Yeah, it was good for them, but it was good for the game too because you can't keep introducing new cards and leave the old cards. Like there's so much out there. Like there's no way someone's not going to find this crazy overpowered one turn, killer.
And win everything.
So like you gotta keep the game fresh by getting out old stuff, and then of course they're making a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
which that's what all the Magic people would say. Like you should just start like smoking crack. You get out a lot cheaper than playing Magic.
For sure, I'm sure.
Yeah. Trying to buy all that shit.
Not that expensive, I don't think. It's cocaine. It's expensive.
Well, that's why they said crack. Then I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I wonder what the going rate for that is.
For crack?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, man, I think you can get crack really cheap. I wouldn't even know where to start. That's like a drug. Like I know like a few drugs where I'd go if I wanted to get them.
Well, that's how it got popularity, right? Because it was like a cheaper version of cocaine.
Yeah. Derived from the same thing, but yeah.
So like everyone would.
But like if you told me right now, like you were like, hey TJ, I'm really thinking about getting into crack.
Where do you go for this?
I wouldn't even know where to turn. I would just drive to the shadiest neighborhood I know.
Hey man,
I think that's a win if you don't know where to get crack or meth.
I think that's probably
you're in a good place in life.
Yeah, I think you're in a good place in life. Like, is crack like the old drug? Like, is everybody like is all the cool like losers doing a meth now?
Cool
Is that what it's turned to?
Hey, you do crack, man. That shit's weak. That's old.
What are you doing? Are you in the 1970s here? Doing crack?
Yeah. What are you fucking loser doing crack? In your parachute pants,
smoking
doing
meth
crack.
Yeah, parachute pants.
Yeah.
I'm interested in trying a little cocaine. I'd like to try it once to see what it feels like.
Oh no, man.
See, I can't. Dude,
I feel like Superman. I'd want to do it every day.
I've talked to a lot of people I say a lot. I've talked to several people that's done cocaine, and every time they describe it, I'm like, that sounds fucking awesome.
Right.
Like there's nothing. They're like, the next day you're kind of tired. You don't really want to do anything. I'm like, I can handle being tired and not doing anything. like being hungover, like kind of like being hungover. Man. I'm like, well, I'd be hungover probably anyway.
Yeah.
Like so, but that's my main reason. Like in the last podcast we talked about dipping, and I said I wouldn't do that. I'm afraid I love it. Cocaine's the same way, dude. I don't need it. But I'm telling you, once I hit nursing home stage of my life, I'm absolutely doing some cocaine.
Dude, I think about that stuff too.
100% doing some cocaine.
I think about that when I'm done. Like I'm just an old dude.
Yeah.
Dude, like I'm gonna do every drug there is. I'm gonna be.
Yeah. Why not?
I'm gonna smoke DMT and eat mushrooms daily just for the fuck of it. Like,
man, I don't know about
You don't think when you're old you're gonna just do every drug?
I don't know. The thought of ingesting something up your nose just doesn't appeal to me.
You don't have to do cocaine up your nose. A lot of people do, but you don't have to.
And what
some people put it in their lip, or I think
really. Like tobacco?
Yeah.
Was it like a pixie stick? You just, just throw shit back and just go?
I
remember. I bet you do it fun dip style. Grab one of them little fucking sticks and just do it that way.
I remember the first time I saw somebody doing it. I walked in like a motel and they were in there doing it, and I'm like, all right, that's cocaine.
So this is what we're doing.
Yeah, and they were like, they did. They like offered me the straw, and I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't. And then I didn't, and then so like they were okay. You know, it wasn't like a Dare commercial. They didn't like they didn't like tell me like I was gonna be cool.
Pussy.
Now most people, that's the thing. Most people that do drugs are like pretty cool about it. They're like, I'm like, I don't feel like I should do that. And they're like, you know, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, because they want to hold on to as much as they can.
Well, and it's expensive as fuck. You know, it's kind of like offering somebody
especially.
some whiskey. Like, hey, I want to be polite and offer you some whiskey, but they're like, I don't feel like I should drink it.
You're like, great.
You know, because that's like $4 you got. So
that's great.
Yeah, I don't.
I picked up a girl for a date once, and she was like, hang on, and ran in the back, and I kind of like seen her, and she was like snorting something. But it
and you were like, score.
I know. But I like asked her about it. I was like, were you just snorting cocaine? And she said, no. And she said it was heroin, apparently, like, or opiate, like, I guess heroin you can snort too. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
no,
like
I have no clue.
Like Vicodin is basically a pill form of heroin, so you can crush up a Vicodin and
snort it. I guess it was something like that then.
Yeah, heroin is. I'm not talking like I'm an expert on this. I may be completely fucking wrong, but my from what I know, heroin is like a liquid form of it. So you shoot it up.
Don't you melt the powder in a spoon and
I guess.
suck it up and then
I don't know.
it?
I never saw anybody doing heroin. I don't have any idea.
On intervention, that's typically how they would do it. They would light
so
it with a spoon.
I've never even talked to somebody that like has done heroin, so I don't know anything about it. But I know it's an opiate. Yeah, and so I'm just assuming like it's the same. Yeah, you're right. You probably have to melt it if you want to inject it.
Yeah,
that's fun. There used to be for oil, you know, because I know a bit about industrial oils and things like that. There's a test you can do to see if your oil has water in it, and it's like a quick test. But you can get some in a spoon. They call it a crackle test, and you could light a lighter under it because water would start boiling first before the oil does, and you'll see it and you'll be able to know. But you'd look like you're fucking doing drugs.
Yeah,
and you're just testing your oil. Just a little maybe
that's the way it should be. See, that's the way it should be. That's if you're not tainted by the world.
That's right. I'm just testing my oil. What do you think,
I'm just checking my oil.
Checking my oil.
Yeah.
You know when you stick a finger in a chick's butt, it's called checking the oil?
I thought it was a chick's butt. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. That's what it is.
Yeah. Use your dipstick.
I always heard checking it all when you're like wrestling. Like literal like the sport of wrestling.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, like because that's how if you like they're in a position on you, like if they're trying to get the best of you, you check their all and you get them to squirm, and then you can.
Damn, dude.
Yeah,
that's dirty, man.
Damn,
very dirty.
I don't know. Y'all are making me feel terrible. I'm like the person that like knows all this.
I know.
Stuff.
Why do you know all this weird shit?
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna teach y'all about oral sex later.
I've never experienced. I've read about it.
Yeah, I'll show you
in blogs.
I'll teach you.
How you gonna teach me?
But we'll talk about it later.
What do you got, Levi? What are you about to say?
Well, I was gonna say, leading up to this,
you ain't gonna make fun of him for printing some shit out.
You'll think this is interesting.
I printed shit out, and instead of using a tablet, and I got like
kind
of 6 tons of shit for it.
I guess I kind of expect it more out of Levi. He just seems like that because he's kind of an old man in a young man's body. You're always trying to be on top of like new things. So you coming in here with like big sheets of stuff. It like doesn't make any sense. Levi coming in here with printed out stuff and being wrapped up in a Afghan doesn't like that wouldn't faze me a bit.
Yeah, Afghan scarf or something.
I had a great aunt that used to talk about being just laid up on the couch with her Afghan, but she would say it like African.
Yeah, that's the way my grandma used to say it. Okay. I was honestly like making sure I pronounced it right just then when I said it. Because
people used to be like, "Are you laid up on the couch with a black guy? Like, is that what you're telling us right now? Like, whatever you're into."
My grandma always said African.
Okay, that's exactly how this great aunt said it.
Really,
like African.
Right, because I thought she was mispronouncing African. So I honestly thought it was an African blanket for a little bit.
That's funny.
But then I found out, it's an Afghan is right. That's how you say it, right?
Afghan. Like a crocheted or knitted blanket, like just a yarn blanket, right?
Because someone gave one as a gift at a baby shower at her work or something like that, and they called it that. And I'm just like, you mean that baby blanket? Like, I mean,
yeah, it's an Afghan.
Yeah. But I mean, like, is that from Afghanistan? Is that something that's where that derives its name, or where does that come
I
from?
don't.
I don't know that.
I mean, I feel like people were knitting blankets everywhere, so I don't.
Yeah.
I'm sure it probably wouldn't derive from anywhere, but
Yeah, I don't know where its origin came from. Hey, Google that shit, son.
Yeah, no
If you,
clue.
I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to.
I can't.
What do you got on your list?
you
Yeah,
can can Google it and then print it off and then bring it in here and, and let us see. And you got a Bluetooth printer in here that we can.
No,
We're gonna have to
I'll
donate
pull
some
this up.
paper every time we come over here. See, I'm giving it to him now.
I don't even.
I'm
have
giving. You got to give me some time to get my jokes in.
Fair enough. I don't even have a printer. Period.
I've got one. I really want to get a Bluetooth one because the only time that we print stuff is when like my wife or my kids want to print something.
Okay.
So they have to email it to me, and then I have to hook the printer up to my computer and then print it
You
out.
want to keep it just always hooked?
Well, I don't have a USB long enough, so it's like stretched like over the desk and like into the. So I don't want to look at it.
This
So
is
I
a lot
like.
of trouble here, bro.
So I mean, yeah, I could pay like $3 in Amazon, like a 6-foot USB cord, but I just don't.
So the etymology of the word
Attaboy.
Afghan refers to the people of Afghanistan.
Oh, okay.
So
no, that's a totally different definition. You got
No,
find a different word.
he's got a picture of an Afghan blanket there.
yeah, it's
Yeah, but
Or
But
quilt. It's not really a blanket, it's a quilt.
But,
No,
I
it
mean-
says blanket.
it says blanket up at the top. That's why, I don't know. It's Wikipedia. You can't trust it. So
No,
yeah,
Wikipedia's
you can
100%
trust
right. You got all the mind. Everybody in the world can bring their mind together and put something on the internet, so
Yeah.
you know you can trust it.
I mean,
That was an office
Yeah.
reference there for
Yeah.
you.
well, no, I mean, I think you legitimately most of the time can trust it because like
Yeah,
they
I
have to
think-
cite it and it's very
Right.
highly.
But how many times have you read something on Wikipedia and you're like, "Holy shit!" and at the end it says citation needed, and you're just like, all right, I'm not gonna repeat that now.
A few times, but not a lot. I don't
yeah,
read that a lot.
I would say it's like 95% accurate. I mean,
You
there's
think so?
what-
It probably.
there's some.
I guess it depends on what page you're on. If it's 95%
Yeah,
accurate or not.
So
Yeah, that's true.
the guy that like the head of the organization or whatever was being interviewed somewhere, and he said that the English Wikipedia was much more trustworthy than some of the other. Obviously, we're all reading the English version, but some of the other versions are still trying to come up to par with the English version.
Oh,
You,
really?
you think the Korean one has that thing about Kim Jong Il not having a butthole?
That's right. He's never.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
doesn't
you do not want to read the North Korean.
Kim Jong Un.
Kim Jong-un
What
version.
about
Wikipedia.
that crazy thing where it said he retired from golf after he played like one game and like it was an 18-hole
Oh,
course
I
and he
heard
made like
Tiger Woods by
10,
so many strokes.
he made like 10 holes in one.
Yeah,
and
he's
an
Hawkeye.
18-hole course.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Oh,
and then he
uh,
retired on top of the game.
Yeah, there was like crazy stuff because it like
He said he didn't pee or poop, which is the hilarious.
He
thing
was
to me.
walking by like 6 months or,
Yeah,
or
I
like
can't
3
remember
months
any
or
of 'em.
something crazy.
I mean, his whole life, like his whole biography, is a bunch of Chuck Norris jokes.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, they're just all together. But yeah, it's all stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a crazy country.
Kim Jong Un
It
doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the world down or something.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if that one was verbatim, but probably so.
I'm interested to hear what's
All right.
on this paper here.
So what I printed off is, and I'm actually made some graphs, Chad. It's not something I printed off. It's something I
Jesus
actually
Christ,
He
you
built
made
a
graphs,
graph?
Yeah. So
and I'm getting more angry
all
about
right,
this
so
as we're doing it.
this is
You realize there's like 1,000 apps that makes graphs, right?
yes.
Well, he
Okay.
probably made it with
All right,
Excel.
this is made with Excel, and there's another one
He
called
just hit F-
Microsoft Power BI. Which
he just
is
hit
also,
F11.
Because they don't have an Excel app.
You just
you still got to add the data. You have to have data population in order to get graphs.
What did you add it on? Did you do Excel on paper?
No,
he did it on his computer. And then printed it.
So
Yeah.
you could.
I put this in.
If only we had an electronic device here that could do the same thing as a computer.
I could. I don't know what his address is to his iPad or any of that kind of shit. I didn't plan ahead, so I just printed it off.
Just
Plus,
come on.
I know that you don't understand computers, so I brought you a sheet.
You know, I don't understand computers.
Shit,
Yeah.
son.
You can use it to wipe the drool off your face. later.
Motherfucker, are we about to have a computer dick measuring contest here?
No,
Because I was going to say,
What was your first computer?
my hard drive is much smaller. So
my first computer, like as a child?
I know you had like a family computer. Is it?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
No,
what
but-
was that? What
Oh, that
model
was a Packard Bell, Windows
Mine too.
95, fresh out of the box.
So I had my first computer actually was older than Windows 95. I had
Yeah, you had
Windows 3.1.
3.5 or 1. Was that what it was?
3.1 with it was a Packard Bell 486 my grandfather had bought me. So
Yeah, that was our first computer. My parents wouldn't let us have internet, so I really never experienced the internet until like high school.
Okay.
And I didn't really experience the internet until college.
College got that good connection.
Got that good connection and got that filter taken off. Actually, we didn't really have a filter in high school. You remember us pirating music
Oh yeah, dude.
in high school? On the high school computer.
Yeah,
it wasn't even called pirating then. We didn't even
on-
consider anything was wrong.
It was
with
like Simba was the website we would download
Yeah.
from back in the day
Yeah.
originally, before Napster even.
Yeah, we never even considered anything was wrong with it. We would get in chat rooms on there and just like talk shit to people.
Yeah.
That's whenever somebody's like saying some bullshit on the internet, all I can think about is us, me, you, and like everyone else in that class just saying shit in these chat rooms to purely fuck with people.
Yeah.
Purely to like try to piss people off. And I remember there was that one dude, man, he was like the guy that was constantly typing on there. We just kept saying shit to fuck with this guy, and he blew the fuck up on us.
We were some trolls.
And was saying
something,
and then he got banned. That was the thing. Like he blew up on us and got banned for
That's
it.
amazing.
Cracked me up. I still remember that.
That's hilarious. So what this is stats for our actual podcast.
Oh shit.
So
okay.
For the podcast, we have 20.
I'm glad you printed this off because this is going to burn down the internet.
Yeah.
When this gets out there, we need some hard copies of this.
Well, I just thought it was interesting. So we've got out to 23 of 50 states.
Okay.
So there's 27 states that we have not touched base with.
What we need to know the ones we haven't, so we can really just say something about those states and kind of try to cater to
shit
them.
talk and use your trash talking skills.
I just want to cater to those.
So there are 4 states that connect to Tennessee that have not had a single listen to the podcast.
Oh, I bet they're the garbage states.
Yep.
Is this what you want?
Mississippi. Fucking Mississippi.
So
yeah, they're too busy being racist to listen to our podcast.
Yep. So the 4 states connecting to us that have not listened to our podcast at all is Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Virginia.
Alabama. Well, Alabama's too busy sacrificing goats to Nick Saban, so they keep winning.
Yeah.
So they keep winning college championships. What's the other one? Who else do I need to shit talk?
Mississippi.
Yeah, they're too busy chasing down and black people.
They had a lynch mob.
They're too busy with their lynch mob. To keep this going. What else we
Arkansas and Virginia were the other 2, but
Arkansas is.
Does Arkansas touch?
Yeah,
Tennessee?
yeah, they definitely touch. Like they're just barely touching Tennessee.
Yeah, it's just the very top right.
I don't know. I don't really know what to say about
near Memphis.
I don't really know what to say about Arkansas because I don't think about them any because no one else does either.
Suey. That's where Arkansas
like,
has
they're a state nobody cares about.
Well, they have the headquarters for Walmart there.
Whatever.
They're
they're forgetful.
Ozark Mountains, which would be cool for hiking.
Yeah.
You're trying to shit talk them. I'm trying to say the good things about the state. So Mississippi, I'll say the blues. You know, the Mississippi Delta is where the blues kind of originated. So there's great things there. You know, I'll tell you that who was born there was Muddy Waters. B.B. King, Robert Johnson. All these people were born there. So I'll play good cop on this.
Okay.
Alabama.
What you got? We got on Alabama.
Alabama's shitty, man.
That's a little tougher. I mean,
what do you get?
Alabama is a state crazed and obsessed with football, but doesn't even have a professional team because the NFL don't want to go anywhere near that state.
What are you going to say to our bridge to Florida?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Listen,
it's a treacherous journey too. Because you don't want to get a flat tire in any part of Alabama.
There's nice people in Alabama. All right, what's the other state again?
Virginia.
Well, Virginia, a lot of important historical things in American history happened in Virginia.
Yeah, it is true.
An important state.
But I mean, there's a host of different states, but the states that have listened to us.
Okay.
So Tennessee.
How many of these states are just TJ listening to us while he was traveling around?
Right. Well, that's right.
In the different states.
To put it in perspective,
well, I do leave these cool little cards in some states. So.
Yeah, those are cool.
I'll leave them in places or hand them to people up in places.
Over 90% of our listeners are from Tennessee.
That's right.
Because they're our friends. You get a phone call on your iPad.
Dang.
How does that work?
Cedar Hill, Missouri.
So wait, I didn't even know that was a thing. So your iPad shows that your phone is getting a call?
If they're connected, yeah. I don't know who it is.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
Well, live on the air.
I don't have an iPad. There's 4 people in my house, and we have 4 iPads in the house, and I don't own any of them.
Damn, son.
That's hilarious.
I know, that's fucked up, isn't it? We had 5, and we gave one of them away.
Who has 2?
My wife, because she has her personal one, she has her school one.
Dang.
Yeah, and each of my kids have one.
Where they at though? She's hiding. Can't hide money, man. She's doing it.
So,
I bought her one iPad, and the other one bought for her school. So I don't bought. It's our money, but I surprised her with it.
Outside of the state of Tennessee, what do you guys think the next 5 states that have the most listens are to our podcast?
Outside of Tennessee, where have you traveled the most? Arizona. Is that it?
I think
is Arizona?
Kentucky's one of them.
Arizona is not.
Kentucky, yeah.
Kentucky is number 4 as far as the
really
ranking goes.
Shit. Then after that, I'm not sure. Then California is always.
California is our number 1 listener outside of Tennessee.
Boom.
Really?
That's it. That's it.
Liberal as hell.
Is that all your contact? Well, not the whole state. Just
you go to Northern California. You would. I mean, there's people more conservative than around here, man. It's crazy.
I don't know. We need to ask some people about this because I feel like if you're super conservative, you would view this podcast as being liberal leaning.
Right.
And I feel like if you're a liberal leaning person, you're going to view this podcast as being super.
Well, you know, we had a friend of ours, Kevin, correcting us on some stuff we'd made jokes about Donald Trump and stuff like that, and he was correcting us and things like that. And I felt like he was a little defensive of Trump, which
but he was right though. I mean, we did fall into the fake news side of it because we did just make fun of the. What was it? Oh, it was about the Bible thing.
Him signing the autographing the Bible and everything.
Yeah, and apparently,
I've not heard about this.
Well, you remember us talking about?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You remember us talking about Trump signing the Bible?
I'm talking about Kevin.
Well, what he said. Well, he did it in a Facebook Messenger, so you didn't have Facebook. But what he was saying was apparently that's a thing that's been around for a while. Is presidents autographing Bibles? Oh. Apparently, there's like a ton of them out there, autographed by like a lot of different presidents. Yeah. But they decided to blow it up because Trump,
and I didn't care. I just thought it was funny and a good excuse to show him saying that his second favorite or that his favorite book was the Bible.
Well, yeah, that part is not fake news, but yeah, the part of him signing it.
But no, my point of that of even bring that up is probably there's times when they're like, hey, these boys are a little bit liberal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely get that a lot. But like I said, whether I'm liberal or conservative, it depends on who I'm talking to. Like conservative people definitely think I lean.
Your own person.
Well, I think it's because if there's a conservative person and I'm talking to them, like why am I going to sit there and just say the things we agree about? Right. Like, why are we just going to sit around and talk about how right we are about everything?
I'm the same way.
I want to bring up
it's disagreeing.
Right. I want to bring up like the liberal side about it and talk about that. And the same time I'm talking about a liberal, then I want to talk about like the conservative things. I mean, it's like with Trump. Like if you hate everything he does, then you're not paying attention to what's going on. And if you think everything he's doing right, you're not paying attention to what's going on. Like, and it's the same thing with every president ever.
Right.
Like it's. There's too much like with right now in our politics of like people being on like you're on this team, you're on one side or the other, and it's like you have to look at all the good or all the bad and ignore all the other, and that's just fucking stupid, man. Like everybody does stuff good and bad. Like just take it for what it is.
Absolutely, have your own opinion and have your own grounds and your own morals that you stand on.
Yeah,
right.
And don't just pick a team.
Yeah, I hate it when people do that. There's like, well, you got to pick a team and be all in on one or the other.
Fuck that. I do not have bullshit. To do that.
Yeah, I think I fell into that trap a little bit more when I was younger.
Well, I think everybody does when they're younger because you don't know you don't know enough about the world to know what is right and wrong. What do you think about
even when you're in school? They're like, "Hey, we want you to pick an elephant or a donkey. Pick one and roll with it." And you're just like, "Yeah, I don't care why."
Well, and I think sports rolls into that too, and I think sports is designed to be the opposite of that, right? It's supposed to be a fun thing where two people two people like you two on either side of the thing can talk shit to each other while you're drinking a beer and have a good time. But it's evolved to this point where like people like literally hate each other.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's evolved past that to like politics and things like that. And I think a lot of it has to do with like advertisement. Yeah, are you a Coke guy or a Pepsi guy? Are you a Ford guy or a Chevy guy? Like,
yeah. And I think part of that is just some people take some shit just way too damn serious. Yeah. I mean, way too serious.
Absolutely. They take it too seriously.
It's part of the reason I really enjoy watching MMA so much is because most matches, I don't even care who wins. Yeah. I just want to see I'm interested in seeing how this is going to play out. Yeah. The drama of it. I don't have Like I love both guys.
That's exactly what I've said about why I don't care anything about sports, but I still watch MMA because I still really don't care. Like it's very seldom for me to be really on one camp of one fighter.
Yeah. Now, I mean, there's people that I'd certainly ride the dick of a little bit more than other folks. I got caught in that on the Chael Sonnen, and like I wanted to see him beat everybody just because I like the guy.
Yeah, but even though like with like I was definitely in Conor McGregor's side when he was fighting no, not Nate. Nate, but
Khabib.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But Khabib too. I mean, I didn't like Khabib at all. I was definitely wanting, but I mean, Khabib whooped the fuck out of him.
Right.
And I mean, I can't be mad about that. Now I was mad about the bullshit that happened afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
But I wasn't even mad at Khabib I was mad about how bad it made the sport look.
Right. Yeah. You want to see though how it's going to play out. The two different styles. The master striker versus the master grappler.
Right.
That's interesting.
Right. You don't want to see like. I don't know, like, because with a lot of sports, they start blaming the refs and they start blaming this one player who did this one shitty play, and they start doing like.
I feel like Khabib's next fight's gonna be the exact same thing as him and Conor, though, and I love he's gonna have to fight what's his name, guy from New Orleans,
St. Preux or
no, St. Preux from
but I mean he's like the John Jones of his.
I can't think of.
He's like the John Jones of his division.
Justin
Poirier.
No one's beating him.
Right.
John Jones, same way, no one's beating him. I mean, it's just not happening. Like those divisions are just locked down.
I still think DC has a chance.
No, he does not have a chance. He does. He hasn't had.
If he comes up to heavyweight, where DC's at his best,
maybe it'll be better. It'll definitely be better. Yeah. But John Jones is still strong as fuck. I mean, he's strong as fuck for a light heavyweight, but he's gonna. I don't know if you just take like the
man. I love DC though. It's so hard for me to root against.
If you take the weight class off of John Jones, you're like, hey, get as strong as you can fucking possibly be.
Yeah, that's right,
man. I don't,
dude. That would be scary. Can you imagine a 250-pound John Jones? Yeah,
it's going to be ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's back a lot on.
Anyways, so California's number one.
Yeah.
Is Indianapolis Indiana number 2?
3.
Number 3. I've probably dropped the most of these cards off in
honestly,
Indiana.
Really? And honestly, the only city out of Indiana, surprisingly enough, there's 18 listens that we've had from Indiana, and they're all from Indianapolis.
And I've gone to Indianapolis quite a bit and left these cards around.
So you're doing work.
Now,
man.
I will say you're
spreading the gospel of the whiskey bros.
Ohio. Your new state of interest, 2 listens.
2 listens. I'm not.
But it's your work territory. We want to leave that alone.
Yeah.
But to round out the top 5, actually our number 3 on the list, or I mean number 2 on the list is Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, California, Florida.
I bet that's people. I bet that's even people that work for the company I do. They're based out of Florida that know that I do this.
Oh, really?
And then number 5 on the list is actually New York.
Hey, New York! I never.
And a lot of listens from the Bronx. The Bronx had actually like 6 or 7, which is pretty interesting.
We're popular in the Bronx, son, because we know that rap shit, son. We like Wu-Tang and things.
All right,
but yeah, and we got some international listens too. But I mean, the obvious.
Where's the other than the United States? Where's the next biggest?
Canada. Canada has 13 listens, and the biggest one out of Canada. It's actually 12 listens from Bronx, New York. 12. I got it listed on here. Yeah, it's kind of odd. Now,
shout out to the Bronx.
Yeah, the Bronx for tuning in. The Canada, I forget where at specifically. I think it was Toronto was the highest that we had.
Okay, shout out to big Toronto. It's probably Drake. Drake listening.
Nah, he's too busy with the Raptors series
he's
right
listening.
Now. But also too, international wise, we've reached out to the countries of Germany, Jamaica, India, Sweden, and the UK.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Right.
I had two listens in Jamaica.
I wonder if that was me.
Could be.
You wore the shirt down there. That's probably what it was.
I did wear the shirt down there.
You listen to it too while you're down there?
I just wonder. No, I didn't listen to it down there. I just wonder. I just don't know how like the data comes in. I just wonder if like it got downloaded somehow while I was down there or something.
Who knows?
It's possible. Yeah.
I have a new segment.
Oh shit! A new segment
out here. This week in history.
This week in history.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm gonna grab a beer out of the fridge. Do y'all need a beer?
No, but I need more whiskey. I've been nursing my beer, but I've been drinking a whiskey. I'm
on
one of those 3
Goose IPAs.
So yeah, I want to. Here's what I got. Instead of Tales of the Guano, because I really couldn't come up with anything great this time. I pour this whiskey. I have for me extra.
Well, you had some stuff great, and Levi read through the entire thing in one podcast. So,
My bad.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So this week I'm gonna just tell something that happened this week in history. That's mine.
yeah, I know.
In history.
But you're taking up my coaster.
Oh shit, son!
You got your coaster, and then you got my
two
coaster.
coasters.
Oh wait, is this mine?
Yeah, I just poured you some.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. So number one, this week in history, May 23rd. I don't have the year. This would have been in the 1920s. Harry Greb destroys Gene Tunney in boxing. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about both these guys.
You're going to have to.
Yeah, I wrote some stuff. Gene Tunney retired as a champion, and he had one loss on his record, and it was this loss to Harry Greb. Gene Tunney is a guy that beat Jack Dempsey twice. You've heard of Jack Dempsey, right?
I do, but I don't know anything about him.
So these is old boxers here. But listen to this. So in his 13-year career, Harry Greb fought 298 times.
Good God.
Can you imagine
That's a lot of
fighting that many times? Boxers today don't even come
No,
close to that.
I would think he'd be a vegetable at this point.
Yeah, well, he died at 32, so just
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
His record was 261 wins, 17 losses, and 19 draws. There's no known video of Harry Greb fighting. This is the craziest thing to me. I listened to people being interviewed about him that wrote books about him, and all the stories come from newspaper articles.
So he just don't.
There's videos from as far back as late 1800s in boxing. There's a few videos of boxing. There's a lot of videos of the guys that were big stars like Jack Dempsey. You can find videos of, but this Harry Greb guy, who was fucking savage. There's no video that exists of him.
Okay.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, you think somebody be filming something. What years is this?
Well, they filmed it. It was even, they found advertisements where you could go and watch it.
See, I don't believe it now then. I think it's bullshit.
No, they lost a lot of film. So they say that they lost about.
They lost it. I'm making quotation marks.
Of all film from that era.
They lost him getting his ass beat and they didn't want to talk about it.
You don't think the newspaper would have reported it?
No.
Why would the newspaper not have reported it?
Because they're in on it.
All right, fair enough. Well,
they needed a hero.
The conspiracy theory thing, whatever. It's always because they're in on it.
That's right. But I read that 90% of all film from back in that time period is lost. Period, because they would what it was made of. It just wasn't extremely durable.
Yeah, go up in flames. They're extremely flammable. I knew that part.
Yeah, well, that happened. I mean. That stuff just gets because it's magnetic, right? That tape was all magnetic.
Yeah, that's right.
So I've never went through it, but they're saying a lot of your childhood tapes, if you don't get that shit converted to digital, you could be losing it right now.
I'm losing it as we speak. Let's hit
I probably am
save that stuff, son.
It seems like a lot of work. I don't know.
Yeah,
I really just want to hope someone else in my family does it.
I'll just live through photographs.
I
don't.
So, in this fight that took place this week, though, in history. He was blind in one eye, which reminded me of Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping was, we don't know how well he could see, but Michael Bisping was almost blind in one of his eyes for sure by the end of his career. I don't know. I just think of this guy as being an old school Michael Bisping, just a fucking savage.
It'd be awesome with some 5-ounce leather gloves and a freaking eye patch like a boxing pirate.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. They probably destroyed this footage because you look like shit. Because it was two dudes doing the old I don't know how to describe it. When they put up their dukes and they got one, their fist point at the sky, and they got one close and one far away.
When I first seen Connor did he was doing some shit like that. When I first seen him fighting,
he's just doing it to fuck with people though. He's been actually training how to fight.
He looked like the Notre Dame mascot where he's doing that. Irish.
Oh, so it was 1922 in that fight. It was fight of the year in 1922, and then he died at 32 years old. So Harry Greb, that's one thing. Okay, second thing in history, in 760 AD.
What is this? Is this on today's date?
No, it's this week.
Okay.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
760 AD, Halley's Comet had one of its passages.
Oh, yeah.
760 AD. Do y'all know much about Halley's Comet?
Well, I mean, it comes through like whatever, like 80 something years or something like that.
74 to 79 years.
Yeah.
And I was really confused by that. Like, if it should be more predictable than that. On average, it's like 75.3 years. But
yeah, but we saw it though, right? It was not like 20 years ago or somewhere in that area.
No, it wasn't. You're thinking of Hell Bop.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
You're thinking of Hell Bop.
Is that the one where all them people killed themselves?
Yeah, that's the one where all those people killed
Okay.
themselves. Yeah, the Heaven's Gate cult killed themselves. Because of that.
They love Nikes and killing themselves.
But see, I don't know.
They all had Nikes on.
I've not heard this.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was this group of people that believed that there was paradise waiting for them in the tail of the Hale-Bopp comet.
No, wait. Nikes was the Jim Jones people, right?
Right.
The Kool-Aid people.
Right.
That's Jim Jones. This doesn't have anything to do with the comet. But I just mixed two together.
But these people killed themselves because they believed like paradise was waiting for them in the tail of the comet in some way.
Right.
This
so
is
if they
why we
killed
were
themselves,
live.
they would like
Weird.
But this is not Halley's Comet.
Right.
Halley's Comet.
That's real. It's more famous.
Well,
I've heard of it.
It last passed in 1986.
Oh, so okay.
So you were born in 88, right?
Yeah. So this is before I was born.
So you weren't even born. I don't remember it at all.
You guys were infants.
And also,
I don't know if I
86
remember
was
this
a
either.
bad time to view it.
I'd been 4 years old.
It said it was a bad time to view it because of where the sun was positioned. But the reason that it's like 74 to 79 years is because its orbit is affected by the gravity sometimes of like Jupiter and Saturn. When it hits out there, like they'll slow it down or speed it up.
push
I
it
remember
off.
seeing a graphic of it, like how it goes. Like it's crazy how
slingshots around the sun.
Yeah.
Like it comes real close to the sun and then slingshots out.
right. So it's like gets real fucking fast when it gets close to the sun,
real
and
fast.
then slings itself out.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy how that
but
stuff
it's
goes.
crazy to me because like this thing is visible in the sky for like a week. You'll see this thing in the sky at night.
Right.
It's crazy to me. And
But then sometimes when it passes, like we're not in that orbit close to it, so
Well-
it'll pass by and like we can't even see it.
So
it passes Earth twice, but we're sometimes far away, and then every 75 to years we're relatively close usually.
Yeah.
So
like
I got
since-
questions about this. So like with Halley's Comet and stuff like that, I mean, surely they probably know like how long it's been going on this orbit around.
So they know. I was reading about this because I got insanely into this. They know about it as far back as like humans have been talking about it, and they can trace back like they'll look in that range of time and see where people are talking about a comet that we think we can attribute to being Halley's Comet, and it goes back pretty damn far. I think it was all the way back to like it was definitely BC. It was definitely like 480 something BC. They have documented like a little like a stone where people had written about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Well, over time, because I think of a comet being like a huge burning rock, you know, traveling around and stuff like that. Over time, wouldn't it, start to disintegrate?
it'll
and get smaller?
evaporate and break
I think it's isn't it actually ice? Isn't a big part of it ice? That's the thing.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
It is.
It's like ice and metal and stuff.
Every time it goes close to the sun, it releases certain gas and everything like that, and it starts getting smaller. So it's reduced quite a bit in size over the years. Is what they said. Here's a few things about it.
I remember when that did you say Hell Bop or whatever it come back?
I don't remember that much.
I remember it because like you could watch it for like several nights.
See, did you guys watch it and everything?
Yeah, but it was like one night you could see it like really well, but other nights you kind of see it just like a little bit.
Okay. That's so exciting to me. Like I don't
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but I'd like to watch it. So Edmund Halley was a friend of Isaac Newton. So he's back in that time period. And he used Newtonian like physics and gravity, understanding of gravity, to predict the return of the comet in 1758. He dies in 1742 and doesn't actually get to see it, but it did return in 1758, and that's why they named it after him because he predicted
when
he looked back in time and then was able to predict when was gonna.
That's amazing that he was able to do that well.
Right, and he understood the gravity and physics of it. You know, he was the first one to really understand it that they know of like that. So, which is crazy. So there's evidence of people observing the comet as far back as 467 BC, which is crazy.
You got way into like space and astronomy stuff lately.
Yeah,
I'm into
I think you turned into a nerd later in life.
maybe so.
yeah.
We need to buy some magic cards.
Fuck yeah, let's play a game of Magic, bro.
Get into this.
I'll
Yeah,
tap that mana, son.
yeah, that's right. We're gonna turn this podcast into one big D&D game.
Let's do it. I've never played D&D, but I'm into it.
Have it either.
In 1910 was the first time it was ever photographed. It passed in 1910, and you guys should look because it came fucking close to Earth. And 1910 is awesome pictures that they took of it.
See, I may sound like a pessimist, but like with the I sounded like an asshole about the black hole thing, but I
didn't sound like an asshole about the black hole thing.
But
you did. You sound like a fucking asshole.
No, I love that. He was.
If you can't see with the naked eye, man, I don't really care too much.
Well, you're seeing this comment with the naked eye, so.
Which is why it's way cooler.
It was like I said earlier about politics. We don't need the three of us sitting around here like jerking each other off, talking about how right we are about everything. You need somebody to say something different.
Yeah.
Nah, he's fine.
No, he's an asshole.
He's talking about that blurry speck in the lens. They forgot to wipe that microscope down.
Everything he said was right, even though I was excited as hell about the black hole. And if there's a comment tomorrow, I'm going to be excited as hell about that.
Last thing I'll say about the comment, though. Next viewing, 2061. So I did some math, and we're all going to be in our 70s, mid to late 70s. Mid for you, late 70s for us. So that's reason to try to live.
Well, just go ahead and mark down a podcast for that day, and we'll podcast.
You want a podcast on Haley's comment?
Well, I mean, I'm sure this shit will be wireless by then. We'll just walk outside and stand there and talk about it.
So great,
and then we'll come back in.
2061. Let's do it.
I'm still waiting for a podcast on the dog show. I listened to that episode not that long ago.
We can do the dog show.
The Westminster Dog Show.
I feel like it's gonna be a lot of work for like one joke, which is basically just hearing them say bitch a bunch of
times.
Yeah, bitch a lot of times. Yeah, you're probably right about that.
I don't know. I bet there'd be some funny shit.
In theory.
They made that whole movie Best in Show, which is like a comedy spoof about dog shows.
Yeah, that's true.
We could definitely have some funny, especially if any of us decided we want to get into editing of just us watching some shit and commenting on it.
Oh, like reaction videos? Almost?
Get into editing.
Not necessarily like reaction videos, but like
I need to, but
I think I could if I just ever decided to
do it,
dedicate the time.
Yeah, because I feel like I've got kind of an eye for it because I kind of enjoy it. But at the same time, it's like, that seems like just a lot of fucking that. It seems like several afternoons. Is it going to be fun? I like just knowing it. I don't know. I don't know if
it depends on the program, but there's so many different programs out there for different things. And
I used to really like it back when I used Adobe.
Yeah, you did really well.
Adobe Premiere and stuff like that back in the day. But then,
I still think we should record us watching. What's that fucking movie? The worst movie ever.
The Cell?
No.
The one that we talked about where it's like Lisa.
Shit.
I can't think of it.
What the fuck is the name of that movie?
They made that documentary with James Franco.
Yeah, I mean, I watched enough of it to be like, this is fucking great. Like, this is the worst movie ever, and it's fucking the best thing ever. The Room? The Room? Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
You haven't seen any of this, have you?
No.
It is.
You told me about the documentary or something, but
well, I mean, I watched part of the movie because apparently it's like free on YouTube now. You can just watch it. It is hilariously bad. I mean, it is the worst thing the dialogue is so bad.
It's a train wreck that you can't look away from.
Really. Oh, yeah.
But bad. Like,
but it's bad in a charming way. It has to be, or why would you even watch it?
Well, you could tell that
it's bad. Like, I cannot believe they're continuing on with it.
Like high budget bad? Is that what it is?
Yes.
That's what it is. That's what makes it special.
It was the highest or most. This was the most expensive film as far like the worst money making movie as far as how much was spent on it in ratio to how much it actually made.
Look up just the oh hi mark scene. See if they show part of that. Like not like the 7-second version. Like just show a little bit of it. Like it's just great. Like I don't even know how to describe it other than this is so bad. Like you have to just keep watching it.
Oh, this is plugged in, right? All right.
Dude, I watched a movie that was terrible not long ago. It was the Harry Potter guy. What's his name?
Daniel Radcliffe.
The one where he's like the thing. Oh, you got it?
No, you're talking about.
This is 4 minutes. This one's 18 seconds. Which one do you want to do?
Do the 4-minute one. We won't watch the whole thing.
I did not hit her.
Okay, that's it. Show him the.
Show him it up real quick.
Show him the thing. Yeah, turn it up, and you gotta watch it and you gotta listen to it. And hold on, before you play it, I want you to understand they're shooting this on a rooftop. This entire rooftop is in a major city, but they decided they wanted the movie filmed in a different city. So this whole scene that you see in the background is green screen for
no reason.
For almost no reason. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and play.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hey, Johnny, what's up?
I have a problem with Lisa. She said that I hit her.
What? Well, did you?
No, it's not true. Don't even ask. What's new with you?
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You think girls like to cheat like guys do?
What makes you say that?
I don't know. I'm just.
Now I need you to walk around and hold the
I don't
football.
have to worry about that because Lisa is loyal to me.
Yeah, man, you never know.
Hey,
People are
man.
very strange these days. I used to know a girl. She had a dozen guys. One of them found out about it, beat her up so bad she ended up in a hospital on Guerrero Street. Yeah, you can say that
He
again.
laughs about it.
I'm so happy I have you as my best friend, and I love Lisa so much.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
He
you
has
are
those
very
zip off
lucky.
pants too in his
Well,
shorts.
maybe you should have a girl, Mark.
Come on, Mark.
Yeah,
What's that music?
yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I have one already. I don't know yet.
Oh shit,
Well, what happened? Remember Betty? That's her name?
Betty. That's her
Betty?
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't see each other anymore. You know, she wasn't any good in bed. She was beautiful, but we had too many arguments.
She wasn't any good in
That's
bed.
too bad.
what
Maybe
he's-
that's great when I can get it.
Oh man, I just can't figure women out.
This is great when I can
Some
get
guys
it.
are just
It's like
too smart.
every line of this
Some of it is
is like
loud,
this big
stupid.
meme. You can go ahead and pause it.
God damn, dude.
It's
Yeah.
can you imagine like this is a whole movie?
I don't know if I could do that a whole movie.
Oh, dude, I could definitely do a whole
so-
movie of that.
so-
the only reason I haven't watched it yet is because I want to watch it with y'all.
Let's do it then.
Watch the James Franco modernized version of it. It gives a complete explanation of it.
The,
Does he-
the,
does
the
he
guy
redo
that
it?
said the guy
Yeah.
that said "Oh hi Mark" is the guy that's done. He directed it, wrote it, done everything.
Yeah.
Like, and the story of him is crazier than the fucking movie.
So James Franco, Rogan, and that whole posse or whatever decided to make a movie, documentary style, about this horrible movie
That's great.
as an ode to the guy who's in it, Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah,
So that I mean, I would watch that before you watch the actual Room because it give you
That
it'll
way you
give you some
appreciate it.
context. and
no, I
appreciate
don't.
it.
I want to watch the movie first. I want to watch that second.
And then
yeah.
watch that, and
Yeah.
then watch
But-
it back again.
But supposedly, like in California, they have like free showings at movie theaters of this, like every so often throughout the
I
year.
bet they would do it at Belcourt. That sounds like something they would do at Belcourt.
Oh yeah. It's that level of like cult
Cult
movie.
following, yeah.
Yeah, because like you can have a movie that's just bad, it's unwatchable.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get that like hybrid of like so bad,
you
like
wanna
it's
keep
still
watching.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing, like that dialogue. Jesus, like every line of that.
Right.
Well, like you could make a joke out of every line of
Right.
everything we just heard. Like that's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's very dry too.
Yeah, Lisa, me and her have a really good relationship when I can get it.
Yeah.
And
You're
what
my
did he
best
say?
friend.
Like-
and then he jumps subjects to it, and I'm so glad you're my best friend.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, dude said it was she was pretty but bad in bed, and we just and had a bad like
Who talks like that?
oh man, it was
Yeah.
weird. That was
it's awkward.
weird.
Yeah.
What I was saying for that Harry Potter guy movie that was not the Swiss Army Man, which is
Oh, okay.
that
That's
would
what
be
I
the
thought you
obvious choice because that one he's a dead guy ridden like that they ride like a jet ski with his farts as power, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't.
It's just
But-
a weird movie.
That movie was actually more entertaining than this other movie with him in it, where he's
Uh,
a pilot.
Was it Jungle? Or the
I think
Jungle?
so. He's a
Yeah.
pilot of an airplane.
I've not seen that. I saw a preview for it.
And I just kept thinking, like, surely the movie's gonna like move past him being in the cockpit of this airplane for the movie.
The entire movie takes place in a cockpit of an
I would
airplane.
say 90% of the movie took place in the cockpit of the airplane. It's not like charming in a way that, like, you know,
I mean, you can do that, but it takes some
it takes
strong
like a-
acting
It takes like a
and a strong story
it
at the
takes like
same
some
time.
Quentin Tarantino dialogue to make something like that well, and it wasn't there. It was a
Yeah, yeah, because I love the Hateful Eight, and it
terrible
pretty
movie.
well all takes place in that cabin.
They did the Hateful Eight extended version, broke out into little
Yeah, on
segments
Netflix.
on Netflix.
Yeah, I
now.
told my wife we needed to watch that because it's like 3 like hour-long segments.
and I don't know what they extended, but I need to watch
Well,
it. too.
because the movie's less than 3 hours,
Yeah.
I
so they
watched-
added it's like 2.5 hours. So they added stuff into it and broke it up into like a mini series.
That's a movie I didn't finish, but I watched like three
Didn't
quarters of it. And the reason why was just because it was such a long movie, and I was just like zonked, and I just never came back to it.
I bought my parents that movie, and they said it was pretty good, but they stopped the movie and got rid of it whenever
Well, Samuel Jackson went on
Samuel
his
Jackson went on the rant about
The
the dude's son sucking his dick, his long black dick. They just
Oh,
said it was
that
a
was-
little dirtier than they could handle.
Oh, I thought that was
Dude,
fucking hilarious.
it was even almost too much where I was just like, man, like,
and I
Well,
totally
because
forgot
it
about it when I
wasn't-
bought it for him though.
but-
I forgot all about.
But it was
that scene.
amazing though, because he's like doing everything he can to like stick it to that other guy. Like,
Yeah,
like
to that old guy.
Like, yeah, I mean, he like you got this old racist guy, and then he's saying all that to him. Like, I just thought it was great. I just thought the whole.
But I understand. I wouldn't have bought that for my parents if I'd remember that scene. But it was like a year later from when I'd seen it when I bought it. And
That's
I just
one of the
remembered it being a
movies,
good
though.
movie. I didn't remember all the details.
It's like a lot of Tarantino movies, though. Like people are like so like one side or the other with like a lot of. But like it's probably my second favorite under the Pulp Fiction of Tarantino.
Really?
Movies. I love that movie.
It was a good movie.
I mean, I can't say definitively because I didn't watch it all the way through, but because it was so rough like early on in that one particular scene that you're talking about, like I kind of got turned off from that movie a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess it's like my maybe it's coming from me and my way of like shit talking and loving to like find people's insecurities and shine a big spotlight on them.
Right. That's
And
what
that's
he did exactly.
That's
man.
exactly like, and I have never said anything to anybody that's that level of offensive
No.
as he did. You got a man who's like a blazing racist, like beyond racist, and he is saying that his son
Was so hungry.
was so hungry, yeah, that he sucked this black man's dick, and then he didn't even get it. Like he didn't even feed him after that. He killed him after like I was like, man, that is amazing.
cold. Yeah.
And like I don't even
It
think,
was shit talk level 1000.
but like you don't never even know if it was true or not.
No, that
Like all you know is his character was absolutely a liar. He was lying throughout the entire
Right,
movie. So
right.
there's a strong chance that this story is not true either.
But I mean, they go to like a visual of it, and I was just like, man, what the fuck am I
Yeah.
watching right now? Like,
Yeah.
it just took such a weird turn on that too, and he turned to that man and started telling that story just kind of out of the blue almost, and I was just kind of like,
But he got his react, and then he got his
reaction.
reaction.
He did.
We are so in spoiler terror. I hate that I've like ruined this movie for
Well,
anybody that has.
this movie's been out a
While.
while.
yeah, Game of
Yeah,
Thrones is very fresh.
I
This is
know,
not.
but I still hate like spoiling. Like I mean,
But this is accessibly free on Netflix. So I mean,
Yeah, but
if
I mean-
you haven't seen it at this point,
but I mean,
it's on
still-
Free
you.
on Netflix.
but I mean, still, we're gonna. Well, yeah, if you got.
Yeah, it's
That's funny
if
that
you-
you just.
well,
that
it's
we think
well,
that
not
Netflix is
free, but
free 'cause
it's available on
if
Netflix.
you own Netflix.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, if we start talking about Fight Club right now, I'm not going to spoil the ending. And that movie's been out long as everything, but the ending is so like such a crazy twist.
So
like,
it's all in his head.
yeah, like you don't want to. God damn it! Don't do
See,
that.
That's the asshole that I
the
get to
Sixth
be.
Sense. Go.
I know.
And Mitchell will ruin that movie for me. I never got to
Well,
fully
see?
experience the Sixth
Well, see,
Sense.
that's what you get then for being an asshole.
I don't feel like I missed anything out. I would have
I've
been
always
like, oh, okay.
see. That's what I know though. Every time there's somebody spoiling something online or anything like that, there are always people like you that kind of want to be spoiled themselves anyways, and they
Right.
think they're doing everybody a favor.
So I'll tell
And
you.
like me, like the new Tarantino movies coming out this summer,
Hollywood.
I won't even watch a trailer for it.
I don't like to watch trailers for movies
Because
I want to watch.
I know
Yeah,
for a
I'm with you.
fact I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to know anything about it. My wife's like, I want to see it, but I want to watch a trailer
Right.
to kind of know what I'm getting into.
I don't
I'm telling
want
like,
to.
like you can
Yeah.
watch it. That's
Yeah.
fine.
No,
but I don't want to know anything.
Now, so getting back to your Tarantino rankings as far as so Pulp Fiction is definitively number one for you.
Yeah, and see, it's not like it's okay. I saw like a discussion online about Tarantino movies, and everybody's like going at each other, and I should really get more into like posting shit online because I feel like I got good comments that no one
Well, this is what you're doing now. You're posting it
right.
here.
Okay, well, I'm posting it here online, but I think the thing with Tarantino
Can you
movies,
pull up a list of his movies?
the thing with Tarantino movies is I think when anybody says a movie's good, you're talking about one of two things. Is it well done or is it fun? Right.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
like we're talking about John Wick earlier. That's just a fun,
Fun
movie.
movie,
No
yeah.
one's saying like this is the next like Shakespeare. It's
Right.
just fun to watch.
Right.
And then you can see movies that are like really just a well done, well written movie. I think Tarantino really walks that line between those two. Right. He
Right.
walks the line between a well done movie and a fun movie. So I think that's where people's line goes. Like, how much fun did you have watching this movie? Like with A Hateful Eight, we're talking about that scene. I thought that was fucking hilarious. Of that scene of him, you
Yeah.
know, like. But some people find that like really
offensive.
cringy and
Right.
offensive, and so like that's like, was it good writing? Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, it's good writing. Is it genius writing? No, it's not genius writing.
Right.
Like not at all. But I think Tarantino has stuff that is really genius writing, but it's also like Tarantino just jump ship from good writing to just write something that's fun.
Right. He does that.
And so
Kill Bill is a lot of that.
Oh, Kill Bill is full of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like Kill Bill was like Tarantino's like porno, basically. Like that's like his movie porn. Like everything that I love about movies, I want all in one big long movie. And that's what he did.
Right.
And I love like Kill Bill. Like I don't know. I say Hateful Eight. It's hard to top Kill Bill. I fucking love Kill Bill. That may actually be my second. I may
but
not
Pulp
be
Fiction is number one. You say definitively.
Yeah, and the thing, my point that I was getting to is, like, is it the best written out of all of them? I don't know, but I think I have the most fun watching it.
Well, I know you guys talk up Reservoir Dogs quite a bit.
Oh
too.
yeah, Reservoir Dogs
was his
is
first movie.
Second movie actually.
Second
according
movie.
to this.
His first movie. I don't even
My
know.
Best Friend's Birthday, 1987.
Yeah, but I don't even. But that's
short. It's a short film. So
and
it's
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
But his first full feature length was Reservoir
Yeah,
Dogs.
Reservoir
Right.
Dogs. That was a good movie, but it was he had a Harvey Keitel and Steve Buscemi and all these people that played some iconic roles in there, but it was pretty simple, but it was just good dialogue.
For me, like I love Kill Bill the Volume 1 a lot. It's definitely up there for me.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed Django and Glorious Bastards.
Oh,
a lot.
Django
was awesome.
fucking great. I'll say probably Inglourious Basterds is probably my least favorite.
Really, that's one of my favorites.
I mean, I really liked it, but I think it was my least favorite. I think honestly, one thing I didn't like about it is his movies are so dialogue heavy, and this movie was in another language primarily. So it's like you're trying to read subtitles so fucking fast. It's like it didn't even give me time to process.
Right.
I think
the dialogue of what was being said.
I think what I loved about is not maybe the movie in its entirety for Inglourious Bastards, but Christoph Waltz, his role as that Nazi general or whatever.
That was great.
He was that role for him was perfect. And he was fantastic. Every bit of dialogue he had was completely satirical, clever, and super funny. And like I don't know, I loved his character in it.
Yeah.
Now, like for like a heavy hitter like Brad Pitt being in it and stuff like that, he didn't.
Right.
He didn't hardly do anything.
Yeah,
but he's a main character in this new one.
Yeah, I saw that too.
This summer.
Yep. The new one coming out in 2019, Once Upon a Time in
So
Hollywood.
let's run through. So you got Reservoir Dogs, then Pulp Fiction, right?
And then you got
Jackie Brown,
Jackie Brown,
Kill Bill volumes 1 and 2,
1 and 2.
Grindhouse, Death Proof.
I forgot about those.
yeah,
I forgot about
about
those.
that.
I wasn't super crazy about that one.
I liked it. I mean,
I forgot about them.
Inglourious Bastards, Django
Okay.
Unchained,
Okay.
Hateful Eight,
Okay.
and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is unreleased.
Oh, that's the new one. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm definitely seeing that this summer.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, and I'll miss Spider-Man if I only get to see one movie.
Did you ever watch the animated new kids?
Oh yeah, we took the
that
kids to
movie's
go see
fucking
it.
awesome.
It is fucking awesome.
It's awesome. I bought it. I love it.
Yeah, it is great.
That's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, watch that with your kids.
Okay.
The new it's
It's
Into
called
the Spider-Verse.
Into the
Trent will
Spider-Verse.
like it.
Great. It's a great movie. And well, now that there's a girl spider, like a spider woman
Girl
who's in
spider.
it. So I
Spider
mean,
Woman. Okay.
It's
so-
Gwen Stacy.
yeah,
Man.
Gwen Stacy, alternate universe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it seemed really confusing and really I didn't know how
But
the kids would take
it's
it
really
all.
well-
But they loved it. I loved it. My
Yeah.
wife loved it.
The graphics for it were very different and
Yeah.
but awesome. So yeah. But yeah, back to the Tarantino thing. So number one for you, Chad, is Pulp Fiction.
Mhm.
TJ, where do you stand on it? I didn't think we'd get in a Tarantino
Oh,
debate,
man.
but it's hard to pick. But I mean, only
I'm
has
not
so
going to
many.
debate anybody that likes any of them. I think they're all good movies.
Yeah.
I think it all goes by
I like
what
them
I
all
said.
for different reasons.
Which one was the most fun? Would you have most fun
it's
watching?
hard. It's hard to say. Like Kill Bill was so much fun when you had her like move your left big toe or whatever it was. Like
Oh yeah, when you had Tarantino's foot fetish scene.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that-
weird, man.
He has a huge foot fetish. Yeah,
am I keying in on that because of me too?
probably so. Yeah.
Is that what my
Probably
foot
so.
fetish?
Well, didn't you ever see From Dusk Till Dawn? Remember,
guess so.
Tarantino was like a major
he
actor.
was, he was an actor and he was a co-director with Robert Rodriguez, wasn't he?
Right, with
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez. Well, you remember the scene where they went to the whatever the truck stop titty bar,
pussy.
Right. but they go in there and what's her name? What's the main
Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek? Yeah, she comes and puts her foot in his mouth and
That's
pours the
right.
whiskey down it
does.
into his mouth.
He does because also in Jackie Brown, isn't there a thing where she's doing her little white girls paint her toenails and stuff.
Yep. And that's right before Robert De Niro gets up and starts fucking the shit out of her. Yeah.
I've never seen Jackie Brown. I'll be 100% honest.
I like
That was
Jackie
one of the
Brown.
movies
It's got-
based on when the time it came
It's
out.
just Tucker in it.
It's generally a lot of people's least favorite. And
Yeah.
I think, man, it's
Yeah, I'm not going to recommend it to anyone, but I enjoyed it.
same that. Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to recommend it, but it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I would say probably for me, the most fun was maybe the Kill Bill, but
Kill Bill is fun. I find the people that seem to not like Kill Bill are the people that got stuck in like one part of it.
Right.
And for anybody that hasn't seen it, it's like she's trying to go and kill she's trying to kill Bill, obviously, but she's trying to kill 4 people before that. And each person she goes to kill is shot in a extremely different type of movie.
Right.
So one scene is like this hardcore, like Japanese samurai kind of style movie where people are getting straight decapitated with gallons of blood spraying away. But then the next person might be like a spaghetti western.
Right.
Like it's completely different. So, and then like there's a part where it's straight up anime. Like it's just a cartoon. So if you're the kind of person that gets hung up in one type of movie, you may not enjoy it. Like you got to keep your mind open to that this movie is going to keep changing. And I think I enjoyed it because I knew that before I was watching it. I knew that the movie was going to change throughout it.
Number one, though, I have a hard time not going Django Unchained, but Pulp Fiction is the only other one that could take the number 1 spot. Django Unchained or Pulp Fiction for me.
I love Django Unchained.
Yeah, I think Django would probably be up there for me for the top spot.
So much the dialogue. I need to watch Django again.
When I saw Pulp Fiction, I've seen it probably maybe 3 times total. And the first time I watched it, I was really kind of confused because you're trying to like pick up like what's going on with
the timelines are all over the place.
It's all over the place. So I'm like, dude, I'm completely lost. And then you got Bruce Willis and Ving Rhames, and he's getting butt fucked by some dude in a mask. And
I don't even care about the timeline.
To be honest, that scene there almost marred the entire movie for me.
Oh, I've heard a lot of people say the same thing. I've heard a lot of people that noped out at that scene.
The first time I saw it, I was I think 14, and I when it got to that point, I'm like,
I remember I was pretty fucking young when I saw that too, and there's some mental callus that formed on my brain after that point because I had never seen anything that violent,
graphic. Yeah,
you see people get their heads cut off and stuff like that, but to see somebody getting sodomized, like raped, like that was fucking rough, man.
Yeah,
like whoo.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was that honestly.
But if you stick with it, like the vindication, man.
Yeah.
Like he gets up, like we're getting some hard pipe hitting niggers come in here and we're gonna get medieval and this motherfucker's that like it gets fucking real there at the end.
But that turn it took, I was just like, man, what the fuck?
People say the same thing about Deliverance, and that's what most people remember about Deliverance. But Deliverance is such a fun, good movie to watch.
Well, I saw Deliverance after Pulp Fiction, so it probably didn't scar me as much as it did a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I think for that reason alone, that's why Pulp Fiction wouldn't sit up top for me.
Okay.
What got me, but see, I stuck with it, and that whole scene at the end with Sam Jackson and what's the guy? There's John Travolta, but the guy that's robbing him, what's his name? Tim. His actor name. He's been in like almost
Tim Robbins.
Tim Roth. That's it. That scene with them at the table and Sam Jackson's like trying to figure out who he is as a person.
Yeah,
I was so of course you're like saying I'm like 14, like young impressionable me, but like that scene was so powerful for me at the time.
I would like a wallet that says "bad motherfucker." By the way,
oh, they make them.
I would love to have that.
I should carry that.
Why would I carry that?
Yeah, there's several of them out there. You can definitely buy them.
I'm gonna buy
the
one.
only reason I haven't bought one is just because I know people that have them, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be like everybody.
I don't. I'm gonna have one.
But yeah, get one.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Fuck yeah, I'm getting one. Dude, what about that movie 4 Rooms where Tarantino
I never did see that movie.
That's a good movie.
Tarantino did one room of
crazy.
it. So they had popular directors at the time all direct different rooms. That the bellhop was what would tie them together, and the bellhop was Tim Roth.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he went into.
How is that guy not a better, like, more popular actor? Because he does so well in all these Tarantino movies.
He went into the Tarantino room, and it was a cool room. It was all this bet about a guy like getting his thumb chopped off or something. It's been so long since I've seen it, but But you should definitely watch that. It was kind of a
I know.
fun deal.
I
I
need to
think
watch
Robert
that.
Rodriguez even did a room too. I think possibly.
Okay. How long have we been talking about this? I feel like we need to talk about Golden Girl showers or something.
Ha, who cares? I'll tell you two other
Oh,
history
yeah. I know Tim Roth.
history things if
Yeah.
you want me to. So I got two. I got three others. So May 24th, 1830, Mary Had a Little Lamb was published.
Wait, the song
Yeah, it was published first
in
because
1838.
1830.
1830.
1830 was 47 years before Thomas Edison recorded Mary Had a Little Lamb on the very first phonograph that he invented.
So back before that, you just wrote a rhyme or a song, and
You published it,
how did you publish it? Like just through writing it down?
writing it in the musical,
And it was just
beat
the
and
honor
everything.
system from that point forward?
I guess, yeah, I guess so. So, but then Thomas Edison recorded that as the very first recording that you could have.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that. That's very
Yeah,
interesting.
it's
That is
crazy.
interesting.
So
The
he did
very
it-
first recording.
yeah,
Was Mary
was
Had a
Mary Had a
Little
Little Lamb.
How did they record it back then?
Well, he created a phonograph. I don't exactly know how he did that.
How that translates,
How
yeah.
that
I mean, did it look-
translated.
The data, was it stored on
Yeah.
like a record?
Something like a
Basically a
record, but I
record,
think it's
I'd
old.
imagine,
I think
yeah.
it's
Is that how
it wasn't
is that how
like
works?
vinyl before that, because you even see 78 records. I have a couple 78 records. I'll show you. They're not vinyl. They're like a polyurethane almost. They're hard and heavy. Like I have a couple of Jim Reeves records like that. So back in Thomas Edison days, I don't know, who knows what they were made of, man. But it's recorded in a very similar fashion with a
Wow.
needle that would lay on it. So
Can you imagine where we would be without that technology?
it's insane. Insane.
I always said because people
Well-
talk about like Egyptians like making the pyramids and stuff, and like how maybe they were smarter than us or whatever. And I'm like, dude, like there's only two things that separate us from them, and that's inventing or discovering and harnessing electricity and combustion power.
No, you're right.
If it like that's the only like everything that we have that makes us feel like we're so smart and so advanced are based on those two things.
Right.
Now we've got
We've
to like
evolved from
nuclear
that.
power and other
Yeah.
things. But I mean, if it wasn't for like those things, like we would never have been industrialized if it wasn't for those things.
Well, I'm blown away by like because you didn't have recordings until whatever year that was. They have no recordings of Abraham Lincoln's voice. So
Yeah.
I was reading
that's
this
weird,
whole
man.
article about Abraham Lincoln's voice and how it was really high pitched
Mhm.
and like tinny and like not what you would think at all of Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Everybody said when they were on all these stories that you kind of had to like listen for a minute before you like
So instead of Abraham Lincoln saying, "No, you fucked up," he was like, "No, you fucked up."
yeah, for a little bit. They said you would have to listen to a little bit of him speak and kind of get yourself adjusted to it before you'd start to hear the message of what he was saying, because his voice would catch you off guard for a while.
Would never get elected nowadays.
Yeah,
Like you could never have a shitty
You
voice
remember
and
that
get
guy
elected.
in high school that was our friend Kelly? That dude
Oh yeah, he had a
for
full-
like the first, he had a real nasally voice, and
Yeah.
and when I first met him, I couldn't get past that voice for like
Yeah,
it took me like a good 2 weeks before
It
I could
took you
ever
a
hear
little
what
bit.
he was saying.
It's so unfair.
Yeah,
It's so unfair to like treat people that way.
Abraham Lincoln had a similar situation going on. He was saying
Yeah.
amazing shit, but people was like, oh. At first.
Well, it's the same thing. It was the same thing I was talking to you earlier about podcasts and people like lip smacking and things like that too much. Like,
right.
I don't care what information they got. I can't stand to listen to that.
If they're
And that's why women have such a hard time in broadcasting, because you don't know any women that broadcast that don't have a very deep voice for a woman,
right.
because it's just hard to listen to a high pitched.
Well, have you heard of this vocal fry thing that women are more, men do it too, but women do it
Yes.
more often?
I have heard about this. Is that where you what do they call it? Like when you up talk or something like that? Is that the same thing?
I can't even explain it, but it's like a weird thing with the voice that they all do. And like they record even NPR, where you think of as like the quintessential like way to speak everything. All these women will do the vocal fry thing where it's in their, just Google it if you're,
Maybe I'm wrong then. I'm thinking about
Google
the
on YouTube samples of vocal fry.
I'm thinking about the thing where like they talk and they kind of, there's like a pattern to their voice where it's like, and then you didn't
No, it's a little bit different than that.
like, because it's almost a way of talking down on someone, but you're not
You
really.
have it?
Yeah, I'll do a video.
Okay.
The vocal fry epidemic.
Okay.
What is
I
vocal
know-
fry? And
I
is
know
it-
I've seen
is it
this
bad
ex-
for you?
I've
So
seen this exact video.
This is on Discovery News right here. So I'll click
Okay.
on this one. It's 4 minutes. So let's see what's
Say a
there.
little bit of it.
Well,
Is talking like this bad for my voice?
That's what it is.
Prospects
Skip past this bullshit and get to the example.
What is up with vocal fry?
Yeah, just get to the example of like somebody doing it. But I've definitely heard this.
18 to 25. We're speaking in the
Fuck
deeper
you.
voices.
Give the fucking example.
In fact, according
God, YouTube
Too much
people.
info about it, huh?
Yeah,
And like, comment, and subscribe.
But a lot of women will do that more so. Even like
They have to.
Respected women will do this. Like,
Yeah, they have to. And I
but
mean,
it sounds like a Valley Girl almost a little bit.
I feel bad about it, but I mean, it's a lot of like people. I mean, because
America's young women are running out of oxygen. What else?
Oh,
could
Jesus
explain
Christ.
so many of them
they're
saying?
running out of oxygen.
so dramatic.
It
God,
reminds me of the
Produced by
this
women
segment is
vocal-
this has turned into like everything wrong with YouTube.
Yeah.
America's
Fake
women
news.
are running out of
I
oxygen.
think it was a joke. I think she was being silly.
I hope so.
It's like a news report, man.
Yeah, but I think she was being silly.
It is very much like a news report, but it's not a. It's some
blinked.
woman doing her
damn.
bullshit.
Running out of oxygen reminds me of that new Eminem and Logic song. All the YouTube comments are about how little oxygen Eminem needs
No, don't.
Oh, really?
because of how fucking badass.
I hate commercials.
All right, we can't.
Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna be. Able
Anyways,
to do
vocal
that. But
fry.
I kinda know what you're
it's that
talking
Valley Girl talking like, oh my god.
Yeah,
but you'll hear it in the even like respected women. It's not just like Valley Girls, which is crazy.
That's what it reminds me of for sure.
Two more things. May 21st, 2005, the Kingda Ka roller coaster was opened up, and it's still to this day the tallest roller coaster. It's 456 feet tall. It's at
Damn.
Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey.
Really? I
It's-
thought what's that, Cedar Point?
You thought Top Flight Dragster was number one. This one
Yeah.
beat Top Flight Dragster,
Okay.
but it's almost the exact same coaster. It does the exact same thing. It's just a little bit taller.
Gotcha.
Damn.
It's the second fastest roller coaster in the world, and the ride lasts 28 seconds. But the craziest thing is the fastest roller coaster. So this one's 128 miles an hour. The fastest roller coaster is in Abu Dhabi at this Ferrari themed theme park,
Oh,
like Ferrari Adventure
Abu
Park. or
Dhabi,
something like
where's
that.
that at?
This could either
I've
be
heard
really
of that
awesome or
city, but
be
where's that
lame.
at?
It's like a Muslim.
Abu
Nah, it's probably
It's in the Middle East type.
yeah.
place.
It's one of them like super like oil cities where everybody's like rich as fuck
Rich as
over there.
fuck, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's like driving around Lamborghinis and Ferraris and
So the name of the ride is Formula Rossa, and this thing goes 239 miles per hour.
oh, I want to ride.
And
that.
it gets that speed in 4 seconds.
I mean, can you imagine being that speed and not being in a plane?
All right, so
It's
it's
insane.
That
It's
is
the
in 4 seconds. How the fuck do you
4
survive going
seconds.
going?
You have to wear goggles because they say like if you were to hit like a bug or something, it would fuck you up in the eyes.
wow.
You have to wear goggles.
Wow.
I'm gonna take a leak. Well, yeah.
All right, so
Like,
On
that's
that note-
so
yeah.
so Abu Dhabi is the capital of the United Arab Emirates.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all I got for you.
That's all.
I know shit about that country. I don't know anything. It says it's in the Persian Gulf.
They're going to be fighting Khabib. It's likely they hadn't been announced yet, but they think Dustin Poirier and Khabib Nurmagomedov is going to fight for unify the 155-pound belt in Abu Dhabi. They think that's where it's going to be. So they shortened the suspension of the guys. Khabib
In his
said
camp,
he wasn't going to fight until all of his camp was free of their suspensions.
Right.
They reduced their suspensions by 35 days, such a specific number, and it makes him eligible to fight on the certain date that the Abu Dhabi card is going to happen. So
I really like the UFC. I'm not quite there as far as your level of fandom. I think I'm still at
Well,
that
you're an
level
NFL
with
guy,
NFL
so-
for sure.
Yeah.
But I think the UFC is making the right strides as far as its accessibility to the common fan, because it's not like everybody's going to be dropping coin for pay-per-view fights every Saturday or something like that. And of course you can go out places, Buffalo Wild Wings and places like that where you can go watch fights. But I will say one thing that's a little we've been watching UFC for what, maybe 10 years? 8.
I've been watching UFC since UFC 1.
Well,
so I don't know.
but I mean like legit watching it.
You and I?
Or I mean, because they all kind of started right around the same time when
I don't know. We've been watching
like watching actual pay-per-view
so
events and really
I did
into it.
fall out. So I watched Chad and I used to watch the early UFCs.
Yeah.
Like
But they
1,
were
2,
old
3,
when we
4,
watched
5.
them, though.
But I mean,
were-
the
They were
mod-
few-
I-
they
I-
weren't
we were renting
crazy
the
old.
tapes.
They weren't crazy.
I guess
old, though.
the modern
but then
version
we
of
took
UFC.
a gap.
But,
Where we
well, I
didn't
wanna
watch a
say,
ton.
They
We
were
didn't-
like early 90s, and we were watching them in the late 90s.
yeah, but we
They
didn't
were
watch
several years
We didn't
old.
watch a lot during the Chuck Liddell era and the Tito Ortiz era. We didn't watch a lot. We would catch the highlights and we knew who they
Yeah.
were, but we didn't watch them a lot.
Yeah, I definitely knew who they were.
But then we started watching again.
Like Anderson Silva Prime.
yeah, that rise of Anderson Silva, that
GSP.
GSP Prime, era like that. We started watching.
When I
again.
started watching, Anderson
But then
Silva
we
was
went back.
pretty well like
The dominant. force.
unbeatable, like, and had been unbeatable.
Yeah.
Whenever I kind of started getting back into watching.
Right.
Well, and it was just what I was saying while you're away is just like it's more accessible now because you have these free fight nights and you have these other things kind of going on and stuff like that. But I still have not just got 100% like in just engulfed in it.
Right.
And I think the biggest drawback is my same drawback with college football. I don't ever get into it, and as much as pro, like I'm pretty well pro. And the reason why I am so pro football or pro sports in general is when you have a player on a team, they stay there for a long spell of time. So like now your people like your Tom Brady's aren't, they're few and far between, but your players do stick around for a pretty good while,
Right.
like your Peyton Manning and Brett Favre and all these
Well,
other. kind
and
of
you're the
quarterbacks and
stat
stuff
man.
like
Like it's hard to with fighting. Like somebody can be like top dog, and then the next fight just fucking get wrecked.
Right.
I mean,
stylistic
you can't-
matchups.
well,
are
I
weird.
mean, that shit just doesn't happen in pro football.
Well, their careers don't last as long,
And
for
in
obvious
UFC,
reasons.
you got people that are like good, well-known fighters that are fighting against somebody that like you barely even know. Like
Right.
that
Right.
doesn't happen in football either.
Right. Well, that's what I mean.
So it's
kinda
hard
like, because I feel like I'm constantly having to learn new names now. TJ's very privy
Right.
to
Well,
the knowledge of.
but
some of
I'm
these
I'm so much
fighters.
better now that I stopped watching football.
But see that,
I released all that knowledge of football, and now I can really concentrate on what I
Yeah.
enjoy more.
but see that goes up my alley because I don't give a shit about any of that. I just want to like watch something.
Right.
So, but you like knowing all the names and all the stats and all the things, and I think it gives you anxiety to not know all that stuff.
I don't think that's it. I think I enjoy team sports more than I do solo sports. Period.
Yeah.
Because case in point or whatever, like I'm watching the NBA finals and NBA or not the finals yet, but the playoffs and stuff
Watching
like
them
that.
Raptors, son.
And like as much as you guys, I could spit off a million different basketball players, and you guys wouldn't know any of them.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
In
If
the-
you
in the
you could
modern
say
game.
LeBron James, and after that, I'm not going to know
Same
anyone
thing with
that you
soccer.
say.
Yeah, well, I mean, cause we had that point brought up because I asked you what team you played for, and you didn't know.
Yeah, I still don't know.
It's the Lakers.
Well, he's
but-
moved around a little bit, so
yeah,
you would-
he has. That's,
but he's with the
to-
Lakers now.
To be fair, he has moved around.
Okay. I just don't care.
But if I were to ask, like, name like the 5 best basketball players that exist
I
right
got you.
now,
Let me-
I think TJ could do it.
Okay,
see what I can do.
let me ask you this then, Levi, because a part of my problem with like any kind of team sports or college sports or any of that is like if I decide that I'm going to get into it, like I have, I get so invested in it that I feel so shitty when they lose. Like if the Titans like lose, I remember this is when I started getting out of it. Is when the Titans had that fucking amazing like almost undefeated season, and then lost in the first season of the playoffs when they should have won the fucking Super Bowl.
Lost the Ravens. didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
Well,
Over like because it was just a crazy like because the thing is they played really good that game. I still remember that game. They played really good. It just like things just kept not going their way. If that game would have been played 5 more times, they would have won the next 5 games against the same team. But like it feels so shitty that it's just not worth it to me to feel that way. Like I don't there's no reason for me
But
to
you
be that
can watch
invested
it
in
without being that
Yeah.
invested. Can you
I-
not watch that the same way you do MMA and not care?
Well, but I think because I like both people, but like it's hard to
But if you appreciate just the chess that is the
Well,
football,
And see that's me. Like to me, I could care less if I mean, to be honest with you, it is sacrilege probably to a lot of fans, but I enjoy just the pure sport of the game.
Yeah.
so you don't have a team like
no
necessarily.
like I want to root. Like when the Titans are playing, I want to root for them. They're a lot of times the underdog. I mean, because they don't do a lot of things right as far as their front office is concerned. They're not like the Patriots or something where they're real smart with their money and work players, work a system,
Right.
and get things right. But
well, that's definitely something I've said. It's like the Patriots and the Packers and I said New England and the Steelers. Like those teams are always like their bad season. They're like broke even, on their wins and losses.
But
like you're doing something right when that's your worst season.
There's a lot that can change there's a lot more impact with coaches and general managers than there are actual players. Case in point, like you mentioned, the Steelers, which is a good team to bring up. Their team is not going to be near as good this next year because they lost 2 of their premier players because their coach is not a likable guy to the players who play for him.
Really?
He's not a
black guy?
He's not a player's coach. Yeah, Mike Tomlin.
Is he not the coach they've had for so long? Why is this a new?
Well, they had
No,
the Bill
he's
Chin guy, and then they had Mike Tomlin.
Bill Cowher was the first coach.
Yeah, but this guy's been their coach for a long fucking time, though, right?
Yeah.
And now it's blown all up in his face.
That's crazy.
People
I thought
finally
he was a
got fed up
likable
with it.
dude.
So
I thought he was too. They've done really well.
Well, he inherited a really good team, and he just kind of kept the status quo. He didn't really change a lot with it.
I did not know.
So like Antonio Brown is widely regarded as the best wide receiver in football up there. Maybe the second closest would be ODB. But
yeah, you know me.
And then the best running back widely considered is Le'Veon Bell. They lost both of those players from the Steelers roster this year.
Le'Veon Bell's the best running back?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, by far.
He was when I had him on my fantasy football team.
The way he runs the ball is genre defining. He's his own unique style, like very Barry Sanders-esque. I come
in second.
But
like
Adrian
a
Peterson was considered best. He played at the same time.
But
Adrian Peterson was going down. He was at the end of his career when Le'Veon Bell was coming up in his career.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, you are.
See how fucking smart I am in football.
So Peterson had a couple things that went awry with his career.
Books.
Like Adrian Peterson,
you got your moment to shine.
Right.
He missed the whole season because he tore his ACL. Then he came back the next year, ran for over 2,000 yards. Then the season after that, he missed almost the entire season because he apparently beat his kid with a tree branch.
He hit a kid with a tree branch.
He hit his kid with a switch.
It's a switch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. A tree branch.
That's what they spun it as. And he missed almost the entire season. But since then, he got let go by the Vikings and has bounced around between the Saints.
I think we need to be asking ourselves how
Cardinals,
much the kid deserved it. What'd the kid do?
Yeah,
I know the kid was 3, so he couldn't have been too bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're switching your kid at 3 years old.
Did y'all ever get hit with a switch?
No.
I don't think I ever did.
No, I got hit with a belt.
TV antenna, but once.
TV antenna.
Yeah, it was not
That's
pleasant.
rough, son.
It was not pleasant.
I never got hit with.
My dad mostly just used his hand. My mom, one time I think used a belt.
My dad used a belt.
Most times she just said, "Wait, your dad
I think
gets
my
home."
mom went to the belt when she realized her hand wasn't doing that.
That's
anymore.
right. That's when my mom went to the belt.
Yeah.
But my mom mostly just said, "Wait till your dad gets home."
Yeah, there was a lot of that too.
But that shit though, like I said, I don't know. I'm still kind of.
But the thing I think I
that.
like about the team aspect side of thing is the chess side of things, because like a lot of people make a big deal about quarterbacks and stuff like that. But like typically my favorite players tend to be running backs, and the reason why is not from their fantasy relevance, but because of the grit and determination when they're running through people.
I think you're a different kind of sports fan than most sports fans, though. I mean, because you're not
probably
because, like you said, you're looking at the game as a whole, and you're not looking for your team to win and looking to blame somebody when they lose.
Came up playing Madden.
Yeah, well, I mean, because I could watch.
I don't think so. I think because he's Levi. I think that's just the way he is.
I could watch the Cleveland Browns and the Arizona Cardinals play a game, and typically those two teams would be pretty shitty. Actually, going into this next year, you guys should watch the Cleveland Browns play, and you being in Ohio a lot, I would take notice of the Browns. The Browns are playoff bound and actually could make a run towards the Super Bowl. Like, there you go. Like they're like
bold predictions,
good.
baby.
Maybe I need to give football another chance. I just need to watch it with you instead of watching it with other people.
I'll be honest with you. I've actually given.
Let's make our Super Bowl predictions right now.
For this
based on what we know.
This next year,
yeah.
I say the Browns because
Levi just said something about him.
No, I didn't even know he said that. I didn't even hear him. That's just what I know.
I'm gonna say
2 teams. You got to pick an AFC.
I'm gonna say that
I'm not
NFC
picking anything.
team will be the Eagles. I think the Eagles are gonna make it to the playoffs.
Solid pick.
AFC team, I think this year it's gonna be I think it's not going to be the Patriots this year. It's going to be the Steelers in the AFC. Steelers versus Eagles.
He just talked about how fucked the Steelers were.
Yeah, but they're
you
going
ain't
to
even paying
surprise
attention.
everybody. Shut up. What do you pick? for the Super Bowl. And then I say the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
New England and the Browns. Wait, are they in the same conference? Are they in
they're in the same
Oh,
conference. You gotta
okay.
go with
Well,
somebody
fuck,
NFC,
man.
bro.
I don't know. Out of that,
Cowboys.
yeah, Cowboys.
I'll
I don't know. I don't care.
the Colts and the Saints.
I can't make this.
A 2006 replay. The Saints actually had the Rams are the other team in the NFC that you guys probably aren't thinking of that are like top dogs.
They're top dogs.
Yeah, Todd Gurley was a
That's because
monster
they got Jeff
last year.
Fisher's a coacher.
Sean McVay, he's the youngest head coach. He's actually younger than both of y'all, and he's been super successful.
Hey, what you gotta say that for?
It always makes you feel good about yourself. Doesn't
He's
it?
the youngest head coach to make it to Super Bowl. The Rams and the Patriots were the Super Bowl last year.
Okay.
Like, maybe I should spend more time with football if I could be a coach of an NFL team making fucking millions right now.
But
Dude,
it wouldn't
I'll have a
surprise
birthday
me.
before our next podcast. I'll be 36 before our next one.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me tell you, it gets rough when you turn 36.
Really?
Yeah.
God dang.
Yeah.
How old you turning this year, Leo?
Yeah, it's bad.
31.
31. Shit, son.
Your sister be turning 30.
Hey, don't talk about my sister like that.
I'll do more than talk about her. But
All right. fair
yeah,
enough.
I can't blame you. I used to do that shit too all the time. Like when my sister was, well, her husband before, back when they were still married, I was on a job site that I knew he was on. And so I walked up to him and I'm like, hey, has anybody seen, his name? Like, anybody seen that? And they're like, no, he's not around. Are you named for something? I'm like, yeah, well, he's been fucking my sister. So, dude, you should have seen everybody's face, man. Everybody's face just got so fucking
man.
uncomfortable
That's
when I
good.
said that.
that's good stuff right there.
Amazing, dude.
And like, my plan was to say that and then walk away, but I had to tell them.
Yeah, to tell 'em.
Like,
Yeah, you got
dude,
to.
they all just to see somebody lose their shit but completely like keep composed is like a thing like you can't really describe.
That's
But, yeah,
hilarious.
I'm like, no, he's my brother-in-law.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good. I'm just
It's all good.
I just wanted to see if he was around here.
I just wanted to fuck with y'all.
Yeah. And then of course then they all thought it was funny, but yeah.
That's funny.
good stuff. What else you got on there, TJ?
Well, I had one more thing on This Week in History. And this one's the least impressive of all of them. And May 24th of 1935, the MLB played their first night game. It was the Reds versus the Phillies. But it's crazy to think that it took them that long to play night games because the attendance was never super great during the day because people had to fucking work. And they started playing night games, and the attendance on the first game went up 117%, and it just like continued into it. So just thought that was interesting.
That
So
makes sense.
that's the end of This Week in History.
That's
So
good.
that was okay.
That's not bad.
No, I
yeah,
like it.
I like
So
it.
that was
Yeah.
okay. Something to talk
Yeah,
about.
there's
Fuck
definitely
it.
some
I
interesting.
think any
factoids
talking
in
points
there.
is good.
Now, I have
I-
some observations we can go over
Oh,
at some point. What you got? What you got there, Chad?
Jerry
Well, no,
Seinfeld
I wanted
stuff.
to-
What's the
there-
deal?
There was something I
Yeah.
thought about. I'm not a note guy, but I don't know. This may be getting a little bit too deep. I always say I'm afraid of like bringing up deep
Bring
stuff
it
on
up,
y'all.
baby. Bring it up.
All right.
I love making fun of you, Chad.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Y'all heard about it. Well,
I'm
the
just
thing is, I'm going to bring up a news story that I don't really know anything about, but
That
it just
sounds like a
inspired some
plan.
thought. But no, here in Nashville, that guy got in trouble for this text messages. I don't even know what his thing was. He was sending text messages to his buddy about some girl that works with him. Y'all know what I'm
I
talking
don't know
about?
anything
heard
about this.
Yeah, no.
Oh, really? I figured y'all would at least know the
I'll
whole
start following.
thing.
Well, what's the deal?
What his last name is something really like strange.
That doesn't help at all.
Yeah, I know it doesn't help at all. That's why I honestly can't
Strangler.
remember. Yeah, it's not like
Jim Dick Strangler. Look for that.
Just look at Nashville lewd text messages something. You'll
So he
probably-
was sending text messages to his buddy.
he was sending text messages to somebody else about a girl that they work with.
Okay.
And I can't even remember. I saw some of the text,
so far,
but
sounds pretty normal.
well, they got leaked, and so they got out. And like this,
How do they get leaked? One of these guys
Tennessee House Speaker says his lewd text messages were locker room talk.
right? What's his name?
Hold on. So Tennessee House Speaker Glen Casada. That's it.
I've
Okay.
seen his name come across the News Channel 5 app. but I
Have you
didn't-
seen
I didn't
some of
click
this?
on it
All
to
right, so
read
let me
it.
click on this. This is a new.
So he
Channel
was
5.
doing it, but like the silly thing about it was, I can go different directions with it. The silly thing about it was, is he first was like saying that like it was somebody like faking text messages in his name. And then it come out they were
Instead of just
true.
owning
And
it.
then he was like, yeah. And that was the thing that got me at first. I'm like, how the fuck did you not learn anything from Trump's presidency?
Right.
Like that was the one thing. Like that was my favorite part of his whole presidency. Is they think they've got him when they bring out these tapes of him talking about grabbing this girl by the pussy, and so they bring it up like, "Hey, did you say that?" It was like, "Yep, said it." Locker room talk. That's what I said. And they're like, "Do you think that's something appropriate that somebody should be saying?" He's like, "Come on." like that's it.
Yeah,
Like
well, here it is right here. It
like
says-
he just like doesn't even want to talk about it.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's like
So-
yep, said it.
So this is what it says. So it says Catherine. I guess this is the woman in it. Or Catherine texted a picture of a female friend pole dancing to Casada. The House Speaker Casada responded, "Nice pics." Catherine said, "Hands to yourself," smiley face. The Speaker said,
Yep, this is what I saw. Yeah.
"Can I just touch?" Catherine said, "Oh, okay, maybe just once." And the Speaker said, "LOL."
Right. Okay. So this
That's
is
it?
this is the text
Yeah.
exchange. Right. So what got me thinking about this though, and this thing getting leaked, is what I want to know is it okay to say things that are shitty privately to someone else? Like, so let's forget all this. Let's forget that they're talking about this. Like, just say you're pissed at somebody at work and you're talking to somebody else. Is it okay to say, "Fuck this motherfucker, I bet he fucks goats," blah blah blah? Like, is that okay to say privately?
Technically, yes. So I've done I do orientation for a lot of new employees where I work and stuff like that. So you go
Oh,
through
you're
sexual
talking about like
harassment
your
and stuff
work
that.
like codes.
Well, yeah. So as far as like sexual harassment and stuff's like concerned, like you can be talking about like another person, be like, "Man, she was a real bitch" or whatever, and she could overhear you having a private conversation with that person or whatever, and that's considered eavesdropping and is not sexual harassment.
Well, that's what brought like
But
I
if
don't
you're-
know. I don't
but
know.
unless you're trying to make her hear it. You're trying to say
Yeah,
it
yeah.
like
If you're
that.
saying it
Saying
real
it
loud,
to
but
her.
if you're having a private conversation,
Okay.
she just inadvertently
Well-
goes by. It's no harm, no foul because that's a private conversation between A and B, and she saw her way into it.
Okay, well that's my. She saw right into it. That's funny. But that's the point that it made me think about it. Like I have no opinion on this whole situation of this guy because I don't know enough about. Like what you just read is like what I know. But what got me thinking is like, is it okay to say something shitty or think something shitty and say it to someone else privately? Like, because I feel like that's what he's getting screwed over for. He was basically having a private conversation with somebody that got published to everyone.
Well, there's a couple of things going on here too. I mean, like, someone's pole dancing, which is a provocative, which is mean it's meant to attract attention and sexual attention.
Right.
in
And I
nature.
didn't know. I actually didn't even know that part. I didn't know the pole dancing part.
Yeah.
So
She's
if
using
you,
her
if you
feminine
say
wiles.
like that, I like the way that looks, and I'd like to touch it. Like that
Makes it even seem not near as bad.
that don't seem bad at all. That's exactly what she's trying to do.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
so
she's trying to
doesn't seem
entice it.
bad.
She's
But
right.
in your example, it's
Right.
not considered in this scenario.
Yeah, let's just back it up. If two guys are talking about how attractive a girl is that they work with and how much they want to fuck her and how hot she is,
Yeah.
like, is that okay to talk about between two people privately?
I mean, if it's private, I think it is. I think
I mean, that's freedom of speech.
but obviously if they find out about it, then it's,
Well,
then it's not private completely.
definitely.
you know?
There's freedom of speech in there, but
But I just mean like,
where is
are
the line?
you a good person still? Like, I mean,
Okay, well, let's put it this way:
Yeah.
if there's two
Yeah.
guys, that are talking about somebody they work with that's Jewish and how they're fucking over the world and how they would be better off like burnt in a, okay, obviously that's not okay, right? Like they shouldn't be talking about that.
if it's how they truly feel, I mean, and they're not. I mean, talking
It's
about
a
it's
weird
talking
thing.
about
Like,
it.
where's
Yeah.
the line there, right? Like, if
you
you've got two literal Nazis talking about how they hate this Jewish person
Right.
in a text message to each other, like,
Right.
what do we do with that? Right? I mean, that seems not acceptable.
I feel like if you
it is a character defining conversation that's being exposed.
Right. Now, I'm
but you
saying in
can't-
my
I
example, they're
shouldn't
not
be-
advocating.
I don't think I should lose my job or anything for even having racist thoughts. If I think that every let's just say if I think that every blonde is an idiot that should never be employed, if I think that,
Right. Well, wait, just to clarify, I'm not saying I said the ashtray. I'm not trying to say anybody's advocating violence. I'm just saying they got these terrible opinions, like
Yeah.
you're saying,
Yeah.
towards someone.
I think
Advocating violence is a completely different thing here.
Yeah.
right.
You're talking like if you're talking about shooting up your workplace, that's obviously something people need to intervene on.
But I mean, you shouldn't be judged for your
Opinion.
opinions, regardless. As long, but if your opinions start bleeding into your decision making process, and you start
Right.
The
Right.
line,
Exactly.
the line is when you start eliminating somebody that is qualified from something
Right.
because
But
of something.
if you find out somebody sending text messages about how dumb all people that are blonde are, and you find out that person's in charge of your hiring, what do you do with that information?
well, once you find out, it becomes a different thing.
But it's a
No,
private conversation.
But it's not. It doesn't become private conversation once
Once
it's
it becomes
found out.
public. Now, I don't.
Right.
I don't think
So you got to worry about who you're
so-
having this private conversation with. That's a
But
serious.
if you're
judgment.
just sending a text message,
So to me, you do nothing with it except for like that raises your eyebrows to it,
Yeah.
and then you start kind of focusing a little bit more on that. Is that actually impacting that person's job?
Right.
Is it skewing their
Well,
decision making? Whatever.
that's the next
case
thing I
is.
wanted to get to then. Because how many times have you said something that was super biased,
Right.
super mean, that you were just mad that day?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You were mad at this one blind girl,
Right.
and you were like, yeah, because she's fucking blind,
Right.
and that's it. And like,
Right.
But
you
you
don't,
don't
I
really
mean, you
think
don't
that.
really, you don't really
Well, I
think
mean-
that.
I mean-
You're just trying to let off some steam about
Yeah.
this one person.
Well, there's a thousand
Women
things
of
that we
escaped.
even said on this podcast or whatever. Like, I think I've used the word faggot on this podcast or whatever, and immediately people will jump to thinking that, oh, like he's a person who obviously is homophobic and
Right.
Yeah.
doesn't anything. But I'm absolutely 100%
Yeah, you
behind
jack
it.
off dudes constantly.
all the time. No,
Yeah.
but no, the
Yeah.
thing is like I 100% support everybody having
No,
the
right.
same amount of rights, zero judgment,
Right.
and live the life.
Levi
that they
once
wanna
asked
live.
me to send a picture of my butthole, and I didn't know why. I just sent it to him,
Yeah,
and it was
fair enough.
apparently just so he could finish.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. I don't remember this. How many whiskeys in was I on that one? But
no,
7.
yeah, no, it's a tough thing though.
That's
Because
my
the world
thing.
wants to create a lynch mob.
they
for
want you to be.
anyone that-
They want people to be politically correct all the way through, and I think that's an unfair bias to put people under, or scrutiny to put people under, because people are never 100% politically correct all the time. They're going to slip up and they're going to say things that may
Right.
come across one way or another.
Because people get mad. Like people get mad, and they, like TJ was talking about the blonde people. People get mad, and they want to just want to let off some steam, and they want to demonize somebody, even though they don't really believe that.
Right. Well, I mean, and TJ could say something literally to think, well, that person just had a blonde moment. What the fuck are you trying to say about blondes? What are you trying
Right.
to say about blondes? And
Right.
I mean, it's just something that over time has become like an accepted term, wrong or right. But
Yeah.
he said it. But does that make him a complete asshole and a sexist towards blonde people
Right.
and
Yeah.
thinking that they're all idiots?
Well, you know what? I think
No.
companies should have the right, if they don't, if there's something that comes out and they don't want to be associated with it, they also should have the right to cut that person loose if they want to.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely. And the NFL is kind of
Just no legal action should be taken.
well, I
No
don't
legal action, but
NFL
this guy's losing his job. Which, and once again, I don't know the whole thing here. I hate that. That's why I was like, I didn't really want to get too much into his actual
yeah.
story. But I
And
mean,
he's a politician, so
but he's
people
talking about a
elected him,
girl.
That's different.
he's
Right.
talking about
who
a
gets to choose if a politician
Yeah.
loses their job? It should be the same people that voted him in.
right.
Are they bothered by it? You
But
know?
I mean, if you got two dudes, like if you got whatever, a group of dudes talking about how hot some girl is that fucking just walked by,
right.
I mean, is that wrong? It's obviously wrong to say it to her face.
Right.
It's if they're talking about how much they want to fuck her, like, I mean, is it wrong to have that conversation with somebody privately?
No, I mean now. I mean, obviously, context is a big thing of that. But I mean, for that, even if it weren't that, okay, just say like two Christian guys are sitting at a table and they're discussing their thing and how they feel about, like, maybe they're Pentecostal and they're talking bad about Church of Christ or something like that. And someone walks by who's Church of Christ and they're just talking about something that they disagree with. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them having their opinion of what they think of something else. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion.
I think you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
That's kind of the way that I think about it. Because even if you say something shitty, even if you're saying, like they said, like, all Church of Christ or the devil or something, they said
Right.
something terrible. Like, in a private conversation, should you not be able to have that conversation? And that's the reason why I got thought it got in my head is because these were text messages, which in my mind, a text message is a private conversation. You're privately texting someone.
Right. Well, and
it's not like he tweeted it and tagged this guy.
Right.
But if you're an employer and you're
getting bad pub and it hurts it.
Well,
hurts
even
business.
not even bad pub. You have a certain way that you want your employees to be. You want your employees to follow this mission statement, and part of that mission statement, involves say mutual respect. And something comes to your attention that shows that this person is contrary to that mission statement, then I think I think it's perfectly acceptable to say, what, new evidence came out, we don't really want to.
That's a good point too. If you're a public figure, a
private figure, if you're just a part of a team, because every time you walk out in the public, you represent a company,
right? Yeah. And you're talking about like whatever, just grabbing some chick on the ass, like
that's the Colin Kaepernick thing all over again. Because that's exactly what I think of first time I think about it. Because he did something in a public forum. He's not wrong. He has the freedom of speech to say whatever he wants to, but it's the way in which he did it, and the team and the company was just like, hey, we're separating ourselves from this. It doesn't really line up with our code of ethics, and we're going to let you go.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think both of y'all are right.
I think there's company policy and there's actual human rights.
If I own a company, and I think that every one of my employees, when they leave, even when they're not working for me, I think they still represent our company in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
So if they're out there in the streets saying something that's contrary to the way I would want them to be, our company to be represented, I would say, I like you. You've done a good job. I'm going to ask you to, either keep your comments to yourself, please, in any way that would get out into the public, or I'm going to have to let you go because it's just not the way we want to be represented.
Well, what if you're in the same situation though, and one employee said whatever, what he wanted to get a piece of the stripper or whatever.
Yeah.
But another employee released that message.
Yeah. Well, I would
then
say
the
one that's releasing it is just as big a problem, if not bigger problem,
Right.
Because he's breaking my personal code of he's being a little bitch and letting some stuff out. It's supposed to be, private conversation. To me, that's a bigger flaw than the guy that wants to fuck a stripper.
So I mean,
to me, the guy that lets it out's a fucking way bigger bitch than that person.
I'm so glad I brought this up now because I feel like we've got some, because y'all two are like agreeing, but you're on different sides of like the way you're agreeing. So I mean, what Levi's saying is, you got the right to have these conversations, and a private conversation is a private conversation. Yeah. And what you're saying is, what you're doing reflects the company, no matter how private, because even if it was private, it became public.
Yeah.
And
if it's truly private, it's not an issue.
And now, right. And now it's become public light. So now we have to do something about it. So I guess the thing is what I guess I've really known from the beginning is people in general just need to calm the fuck down about what people are texting each other.
I think the general thing is when something goes public in this situation or whatever, is if it violates their company policy that they have in place, as far as like how they're supposed to be represented or not represented, that's where you have to take action versus general human right. He has absolutely every right to have that conversation and not suffer any consequences. But when you sign up with a company and they tell you what their expectation is and they make it very clear that they don't want to be associated with certain things, it is then your responsibility to not have those conversations because you're held 100% liable for having.
I mean, I'm agreeing with what you're saying, but like what I seem to understand in this situation is he had a private conversation that got released. So it's not like he chose to like Colin Kaepernick. It's not like he chose to do his thing publicly.
It is
right. It makes it different.
It does make it different because it is something that was private that got leaked.
It makes the guy that leaked it the worst offender here.
It is unfortunate, but I think the company is totally in the right.
Right, and I don't even know if the guy he texted to is the one that leaked. I have no idea.
But you do have to think about this kind of stuff, like if you think you're buddies with somebody, but you're just a coworker, like we all have those people that think they're that think they're your best buddy and they're just a coworker of yours.
Oh yeah, I would never say.
And and if they start texting you some shit and you're like, I really don't like this guy anyways. Like,
well, case in point, like
fuck this guy. I'm going to show somebody this shit.
Well, case in point. So
yeah,
say,
I mean, that's
so say this podcast or whatever, like, we say something that leaks from this podcast.
Get on your mic there. But
we say something that leaks from this podcast that gets out to one of our employers, and they think, oh, well, this is not suitable, and this is something that's in contrast to what we identify ourselves as. We need to take some form of disciplinary action.
Yeah.
I think they do, but at the same time or whatever, I think that it's a fine line that they tread on, because it does encroach upon your basic human rights as a United States citizen. And I think that's some political battle that is like, well, we're just going to try to, smooth this over, push it in the background, and not make a big deal out of this if they really care about you. But if they don't, they'll go ahead and just pull the trigger and just say, all right, we're better without you. I think it depends on the value of the person,
I think
because how valuable is this guy?
He's a state senator or something.
But you look at Colin Kaepernick. If he were a better quarterback, it would have been a lot of people. More people would have taken a chance and dealt with that.
Exactly. If this
storm
was Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, and race completely aside, if this was Russell Wilson, people would make a.
They would still sign him.
They would still sign him, and they would still give him an opportunity, and they would find a way to make it work, and they would just hope it smooths over. Case in point, you guys, I know, don't follow the NFL like I do, but the Kareem Hunt, all-pro running back for the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes and all this group. Well, there was a video that leaked of him like kicking a woman down and pushing her down like repeatedly. And he got suspended for 8 games, which is the bare minimum that you get from the NFL. And most of the times teams don't want to sign you because they don't want to be associated with the bad pub.
Right.
But that's a different.
He got re-signed, but he got re-signed immediately because his talent is super great, and his age, he's only 23 years old. He's got a long life to live, a long career still ahead of him.
I guess, okay, but that still gets to like down to what I'm talking about though, because if you find out that somebody's whatever pushing down his girl or his wife or whatever in private, like you just learned a lot about that guy, right? And you do not want him anywhere around your company, your thing, your anything.
Now, I will say in this case in point, just to give a little bit more context, he was 17, 18 when it happened, and he's now 22, 23 before that video leaked out.
That's a whole nother conversation. Like, can you be forgiven?
Well, I mean, but that's a whole other
later on.
But that's a whole other thing, because look at the Bill Cosby situation that happened. I mean, you're talking about things that happened with several years in the past.
So can you be forgiven for doing what he did? Like,
it makes you reframe somebody in your mind a little bit. But
yeah, that's a weird.
But it's easier to forgive somebody. Like a Michael Vick to me is easier to forgive because he served his time.
Correct. Right.
Granted, I know it's dogs and humans, but I'm saying like the point is if somebody gets caught, deals with it, and then comes out and moves forward, I say forgive them and give them another chance. I think felons should be able to vote. I think all this stuff like what.
Right. So you think Bill Cosby should like get a chance at like TV specials and stuff if he got out of prison within say he lives to whatever service sentence? I don't think he will. Like, don't he have like a 1,000,000 year sentence? But,
he won't.
But if he did. Assuming he did, assuming it was just one girl and he was 100,
he should have a chance. But then that would be up to the network to say, do we think that he is popular enough where he'll draw enough viewers that don't care about that? I mean, that's all it is.
That's yeah, you're right. That's the network. I mean, nothing's stopping him from doing a podcast.
Even another job. If I had a company and most of our business was say in the black community. And I had a guy that was on my staff, and he was so if he was racist and making racist comments on like his Facebook, where he was choosing to do it out in the public like that,
like currently,
currently, I would say, you know what, like I totally think you're free to have any beliefs that you want to have, and I completely support that, and I don't want any legal charges to come on you at all because there's nothing. You just have an opinion.
Right.
And I think your opinion's wrong, but you have an opinion. And that's fine. But I know that our customer base and just the way I want to be perceived as my business into the public is not to be racist. So I'm going to part ways with you. Now, the difference there is if something leaked that he was having a private text message with somebody else and it leaked, it'd be a different thing. You know, I have to look at my business, and so I might have to fire him just as a PR move, say that to show face that we're against that. But you know, I would prefer to just say to have a counsel session with the guy and find out, hey, is this how you really feel? I would,
But then you would have to make the decision: is it worth it as a company to stand behind this guy?
Yeah.
That everybody like
it would
dollar wise,
it would
is it
depend on
worth
how
it?
valuable he was and what else he brought to the table. Now, if he came to me and was like, listen, I do not feel that way. Here's all the things I'm going to do in the public eye to prove that I don't feel that way. Please keep me on. I would consider it. But if not, it's probably likely that I would just cut him loose no matter what. Even if it is a private conversation that comes to light, you need to be smart enough to have those private conversations with somebody, some way that's not going to leak out.
Yeah, well, I guess there's that.
That's kind of the way I think about the whole situation.
It's a fine line. I think you could choose either way. It just depends on the situation. And
but I think if our employers heard this podcast and they thought that it ran so contrary to what their core values as a company was, that it was going to put them in a bad light. First of all, we're not saying where we work on this thing, so it's not really putting them in a bad light, unless somebody could draw the lines and figure that out for sure. But if they thought that, I would completely support my employer and say, you know what, if that's your choice, I hate it. I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah,
but I think I would completely back their right to do so.
Right,
completely back their right, because I think just as much as a individual has rights, a company is nothing but a group of individuals. They have rights too.
Yeah, and honestly, this it depends on your job. Like, this guy's in a public arena. Colin Kaepernick is in a public arena. I mean, we're somewhat public in
I'm
a
very
way.
Public in sales,
but I mean, does this genuinely affect your job in a negative way? Yeah. I think that there would be a way that they could scale down the punishment, whatever the case may be. It may be like a work suspension. Hey, we need to get this down or whatever. If you can get this down, it's fine. It just depends on what the context and how the company viewed it. Yeah. So yeah, it's completely subjective, 100% subjective in my opinion. I don't think there's any objective decision you make based off of whatever information we have. It's totally situational. So I don't know.
Right.
I'm with you.
I think it's just a point where we have to learn. I think we're just in this weird point of being in the digital age and before it.
Well, I think
people see something like a text message and they're like, there we go. We got him. So let's bring this to light.
Right.
Instead of we may in 50 years get to the point where people go, that's a text message. Well, we don't care about that. Like, we don't even care. Like, well,
this newer generation or whatever, and I get lumped in with millennials and stuff like that because of the age. But the thing is, though, is this newer age or whatever, I feel like it's become really soft. We've talked about this before, I think, with kids, my daughter just had field day not all that long ago, and there is no first place or second place ribbons or anything like that. It's all just participation. We all
come to a life school. They absolutely have first, second, third place ribbons,
which is the right way. Well, because look, the thing is when these kids get out into the real world or whatever,
winners and losers.
Failure will happen. Yeah. It is
cut his mic down a little bit. No, you should be close like you're doing. You sound really good.
It is a certainty that these kids will fail at some point, and
absolutely
they need to learn at an early age how to cope with failure, how to overcome failure, and how to make themselves better from it. To accept that and have that fuel them, rather than just avoiding the subject altogether. And I think that's what America is almost teaching these kids nowadays. It's insane to me that, and then to even compound with that is that kids today or whatever have everything to them at their fingertips, where everything comes to them in an instant. There are no fucking commercials. There are no things that they're waiting on. They get everything instantaneously. They're spoiled. And I think when reality hits them and stuff like that, they're not going to be able to cope, because I feel like a lot of these younger kids that have come into work and stuff like that, they flame out really fast because they don't know how to handle adversity. Mm-hmm. And it's sad, honestly. They may be technologically savvy on a lot of things or be advanced on a lot of things, but if they don't know how to persevere through hardships and bullshit, they have to have a higher tolerance for bullshit. You need to learn how to deal with bullshit, because bullshit happens on a daily basis.
Right.
Yeah.
If you
There's
get-
still a way to
that's true.
get that, though. There's still a way in
There-
today's society to get that.
Right.
You know, you talk about team sports. I mean, team sports is a great place for people to
Right.
learn. Like
That's why
learn
I'm
the
all.
difference in
That's
that.
why I'm all for it because honestly,
Well, not only team sports, but individual sports too. I mean, it's the same
for
way.
sure.
Yeah.
But team sports, you learn to work for a boss, a coach. You learn to work with employees who have skill specific positions or whatever on a team, which are totally unaffiliated with you, but 100% affiliated with you. You learn how they interact with each other, and you have to socialize and communicate with these
Right.
people in order to get the job done.
But if you
follow plans you may or may not agree with.
If
Right.
you go back to our second episode ever of this podcast, when we talked about video games, we drew some parallels between kids can
Right.
even learn that from video games if they play online and some of these type group,
But
group
even
play like that.
But even in the modern era of video games, they make, with the exception to Sekiro, which he mentioned earlier when we talked about before the podcast and on the last podcast, is they make an overwhelmingly large percentage of the video games that we play today so easy that you can beat them within 6 hours of gameplay.
Right.
Because they want kids to be able to beat it and
Well-
feel accomplished.
Well, in defense though, they sell video games more now like movies. Like it's not about
It's
a
about the
challenge.
story.
Yeah, it's different because back before, I mean, when you had 8-bit video games, like you didn't have enough room in a game to do that much, right?
but-
So the only way they could make the game last any amount of time was to make it hard.
right.
Now they can make a game big, and you can just go through it like a movie. Like you
Right.
just
Well,
just
okay.
complete it.
Well, and I think
So
it's just
there is different, but you're right. I'm not saying wrong, but there is a different mentality to
Right.
making them now.
for sure, and I think there's a different perspective on games and other things in general. It's just like I feel like the younger generation now doesn't like adversity or challenge. They want things to come to them easy. That's what they're accustomed to.
You're not just hand me this whiskey. I'm gonna top everybody off. I'm topping me off.
I think.
Are you in, Leva?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right, it's time for another
I
round.
think that that kids are used to this. Like I think it's few and far between where you find somebody who's like, I enjoyed the challenge of this. I don't know if those kind of people are as common.
Right.
Today.
Possibly. I think the thing though to add to not saying against anything that you're saying, but the one thing I will say is ever since the Depression, every generation has thought the generation beneath them was weak and
Right.
had no chance.
Yeah,
Well,
you didn't go through what
I mean,
we went through. You didn't deal with what we went
It's
through.
always happened. It's,
Well, I think the generation who it came before me, I feel kind of something. You guys don't really lump into that. I feel like I blend more into y'all's categorical generation than I do my
How
own.
much younger are you than
Just
us? You're
5-6 years.
We're close.
Yeah, close enough. But and I feel like my parents kind of raised me more old school in the same fashion that your parents did. I think, with the exception of Chad, me and your parents are pretty relatively the same age, and then
Right.
and stuff like that. So I feel like
some means I got
the way
it
I've
worse,
heard it.
boys. I got it fucking
Yeah.
hard.
yeah, you did.
My parents
school.
were children of the Depression.
And my
Yeah.
parents were literally children.
Yeah, mine too. My parents are still young. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Really? How
Yeah.
old are y'all's parents right now?
my mom, let's see, she was 20 when she had me. So my mom is 50 and turned 50, or she just turned 51 in January.
Okay. What about you?
My dad
My dad's
is going to
54.
turn 56 this year, and my mom is going to be what 53, 54.
Okay. Well, both my parents are in their 60s, so yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're
both-
my
both
parents
of my
are
parents
quite a
in
bit
their-
older than y'all's
Or
parents.
early 50s, both of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, because I think my dad's 54, 55. Yeah, somewhere in there. So yeah.
No, you're right in that, and like the embracing of struggle. But who would choose to take on struggle if you didn't have to? Is the thing. Like I think it's like human nature to take the easiest
Oh, it
way
is.
out when you don't have to.
You're absolutely right.
That's
about
why
that.
I like.
It's the path of least resistance.
I do like the fact that you have these people we can look up to, like the Jocko Willinks of the world, and even the Joe Rogans and the Aubrey Marcus, and these people that talk about the importance of facing struggle, of bettering yourself every day. The Jordan Peterson stuff of just like taking on the largest responsibility that you can and moving forward. There are role models that we can look to in this generation to say like take on, and the reason that message is being accepted the way it is because life doesn't give us a lot of that, and at least in the United States of America.
Well, I just think of it from like so I mean, a lot of my job is like from a production standpoint. I'm a very numbers oriented person. So like when I look at something, we can walk into a record day of orders that our company has to pick, pack, and ship out within a day.
You see it as a challenge.
And I mean, it's a challenge to everybody in a way. Some people look at that challenge and they're like, well, shit, it's going to be a busy fucking week and we're going to be working a shit ton of overtime. I look at it and I'm just like, motherfucker, let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can.
You're motivated.
Let's see if we can.
Mood.
Let's see if we can destroy that record. And hell, let's see if we can go fucking home early.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that's honestly the way I'll look at it majority of the time. And then someone tell me, I love it when somebody tells me. I love it when somebody tells me or whatever, there's no way we're going to be able to get this done. And I'm just like, well, you sit over here, hand the keys over to me, and I'll show you how to fucking drive this car.
That's awesome.
Because, I mean, that's honestly the way I want to be about it. And it's a little bit precarious now because as a supervisor, they're like, well, we need you not on the floor. We need you not to do this. And I'm just like, my mentality for the longest time being a lead hand is like, let me show you motherfuckers how it's done.
No, yeah, fuck that. I was going to say something else, but I want to say what
go ahead.
I think I want to follow up on that. That's if you're going to lead some people, you got to show the people that you're willing to get down there and do what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
And you're like, you can't do that. You can't sit in a fucking office and say, you need to produce this and you need to act this way.
Right.
You need to do this.
And I got other supervisors who tell that to employees all around the clock. They're like, you ought to be done by lunch. You ought to be done by 10 o'clock with all this stuff or whatever. Until you get immersed and know the fucking process and do it yourself, you cannot fairly state how long it would actually take until you actually have a feeling and grasp of how long it actually takes to do the process.
Now, one of the best things of advice my dad ever gave me, and I still remember it, is he said, you never ask somebody to do what you're not willing to do.
Right.
And you never tell somebody to do something unless you're going to get down there and do it just the same as them.
Yeah.
Like, so you don't see a toilet like fucking backed up with shit and go like, yeah, you need to get down there and clean that up. Like, unless you have got down there and cleaned up a shitty toilet and people have seen it and people know it, you can't ask somebody to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Which honestly,
you're not going to get any respect.
Which honestly, I think that's the thing that helps me in my experience so far as a supervisor is that I'm never going to come up to somebody and be like, why haven't y'all got that done? Having not already done that process and know exactly what it takes.
Okay.
So, I mean, because I feel like it's unfair of me to say.
Now, I'm going to disagree with you guys a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I think you're not straight up wrong. I think that's a great way to earn respect, and it's one way you can definitely do that. But I don't think it's the only way. I think there are people like
I don't think
it's say Bill Belichick or something who could never and will never be able to play like some of the people he coaches, but it's his job to identify their best, the potential that they could be, and pull that out of them.
You're talking about a completely different thing, though. There's a difference in between trying to pull somebody's best talent and tell somebody to do some fucking shitty work.
Yeah, do some shitty work. But I'm saying if you are leading a team, it doesn't mean that you have to be capable of doing it. Levi's talking about like, you say this can't be done. Well, I'll get out there and show you how it's done. I think that's great, and you can earn some respect that way. But I think it's very possible that you could say, there's a lot that has to be done here. I couldn't do it myself. I don't even possess the talent to do it. But I know that I know this team very well, and I know what this team's capable of, and I know that maybe we won't get every bit of this, but I know we can get a lot more than you guys think you can do. Right? And I think you can pull the best talent out of your team.
Hold on. Give me this one. Like, y'all are talking about something completely different, but the same. I love this. I love that why this is happening. But what Levi is talking about is desire to get in there and work something. You're talking about ability. These are very different things. What Bill Belichick is talking about, he's talking about how the quarterback and the defense, you are capable of doing this and you need to do it. Yeah. What Levi is talking about is this job kind of fucking sucks, but you've got to get down there and fucking do it. And I know you don't want to do it, but it's you've got to get your ass in there and do it because that's what people do, and that's the way this fucking engine works.
I don't disagree with that.
I think what you said is there's three key components to getting a job done efficiently. You mentioned two of them: desire, ability, and then shit was.
This sounds like a PowerPoint
No,
presentation.
it is. But desire and ability are two different things. But from an analytic standpoint, when you go and look at the numbers and you see what can actually be done and stuff like that, and you really kind of dive deep into something like like a Six Sigma or something, really evaluate the process, break it down 100%, and get to the root of everything, and you look at the numbers. I think you can drive performance from a numbers standpoint. So, like, you look at something. Well, hey, 9 times, like you mentioned, like a football thing, from a knowledge standpoint. So there's ability, knowledge, and desire.
Mm-hmm.
Belichick goes from an analytical knowledge standpoint.
We turned your mic down, so you got to
sorry,
get on.
So from an ability, or I mean, from a knowledge standpoint or whatever, him analyzing every bit of people's ability and desire,
Right.
he knows what efficiency he should be able to get out of his people.
Right.
And it's because of his tireless hours that he spends looking at film, looking at what people can and can't do, and literally analyzing, hey, you run 4.4 when you're backpedaling, you run 4.2 when you're going straight ahead speed and stuff like that.
Right.
You should, based on this law of averages, should be able to keep up with them. And the thing that you're doing wrong is, see, when you do this, you're pivoting on your right foot and turning wrong to keep up with this wide receiver. That's where you fucked up.
Right, but
That's how Bill Belichick will.
And I don't think
from an analytics and film standpoint, it's all knowledge.
When Bill Belichick's going off on somebody, I don't think anybody thinks that he wouldn't do it if he was capable of doing it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's like,
yeah, they know. I mean, he's a heavy set old man at this point, and I mean, but is like the Godfather. I mean, he's so
Right.
knowledgeable and everything, and just spends so much
But
time.
even with my kids, I'm not going to have the same expectations for every kid. I'm going to try to analyze what their abilities are, and I know this kid's better at this, and this kid's better at that, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the most of their potential.
well, that's why
Right.
hard rules is
but see, that's
kind of
Right. There's some things that are just
kind
hard
of-
rules, but then like grade wise,
right.
I want to look at each kid individually. I want to know, like, hey,
How much did you try?
you
Yeah.
getting this grade is awesome because I know you struggled in this. But then
Right.
this other kid getting that grade and that, like, hey, you really took the day off, the freaking quarter off, didn't you? Because this
Right.
is a bad grade for you.
Right.
Right.
So
I agree with you. There's
I
different
think
skill
that
sets.
absolutely, to earn respect, you have to be willing to do hard stuff. But
Right.
the hard stuff isn't always necessarily the same stuff as the people you're leading.
Oh, I
So
agree with you. For
if
sure.
you're a leader, you happen to be really good at doing what the people you lead do. But you could lead a team that's better at doing than you could ever do.
Oh, I already do. I mean, I have
Okay.
because I manage 3 different departments. So,
but
there
that's
are
your point
certain
is
things.
is that I'm talking about ability and getting
Right.
the most potential out of
Right.
everyone.
Yeah, I think
And yeah, if it's cleaning a shitty toilet, everybody could do that, and it's all about mentality.
Well, what I said and what Dad said is something that you're not willing to do. Bill Belichick is certainly willing to go out there and throw the fucking football.
right.
He just
Yeah.
he's not physically able to do it.
Right,
But
but
he-
if you're cleaning a toilet,
Everybody's capable of doing
almost
that.
everybody, unless
Right.
you're a paraplegic.
Well,
Yeah.
right. But I mean, if they were, then whatever. But the point is, like, no one's going to respect the boss that says you need to be here at fucking 7 o'clock every morning, and he
And then
rolls
they're
in
at
at 9
8.
o'clock every morning.
Right.
Right. And
Yeah,
like,
'cause you have to lead by example
right.
Yeah.
No one's
in
going
some
to.
capacity,
Right.
regardless of your ability.
Right.
Or,
No one's
or
going to do
desire.
that. Y'all need to come, blah 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 blah, and he's getting drunk in his office every day.
Right.
Like no one's
Absolutely.
respecting that.
Right.
Damn, boys, we got in some deep.
No,
shit
but
here.
but this is
That's
good.
fun.
This is good stuff because this is real life shit that applies to anything and
I
everything.
know. I was so hesitant to bring that shit up that I brought up earlier.
No,
Like we got
I'm glad you
into
did.
some
Yeah.
deep. Like
But-
it just spanned out
and-
into some deep conversation.
But even on a deeper level or whatever, when you go to
Even deeper.
when you go
Oh
to
shit, we're like getting into some Inception level here.
when you go
God
to
dang,
when you
dude.
go to lead people or whatever, kind of like TJ, he touched on it. Like each kid that you got in your family, and within your own, your family, each personality is totally different.
You're right.
In some capacity. Each one requires a certain level of finesse in how you coerce them or encourage them to do things.
Right.
So it's all about finding what motivates that
Right.
person, because there are people who I have who employed with or whatever who don't respond well to me being like, okay, we'll move aside, watch what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because
It's like, come on, asshole. Yeah.
That's so important is understanding how your people and that's kind of what we've talked about that we've never done it, the like the personality color
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
knowing how to talk to your people, because people respond to things so differently. Some people want you to walk them down there and say, do this exact way. Yeah. Some people want to say, I want this outcome and I need you to make this happen. Right. Like knowing your people, like being a good boss.
Yeah.
And whether you're a teacher or a boss or a parent or everything, understanding your audience is huge.
Right.
And sales, I have to do that different for every customer.
Yeah, because every customer you have is completely different.
Is a different person.
Yeah, you have to attack from. You have to be able to attack from different angles in order to get that sale. So I mean, it's about understanding who you're talking to and how to get the best out of them. So I mean, 100%. I mean, and like you said, like the personality thing is like a big part of that. I mean, just understanding their
right. And it's hard for me to teach people. Which I don't know. I mean, I get praise for being a good teacher. I really don't feel like that I am. I think I'm good at simplifying things in a way that people understand. But some people just really want this is the part that gets me. Some people really just want the facts. They want you to lay it out, and I bet Levi, you're this kind of. If I was teaching you, you would want do this. This is step 1. This is step 2. This is step 3. This is step 4. Do this, and then come with me to the next thing, and that is it. Like those are the people I have a harder time teaching.
Maybe not as methodical or laid out as that, because me organizationally as a person, I'm not the most organized person. I make a list and I just go up
right, but you don't want to know why you're doing this. You don't want to know.
You don't have to know that.
I don't have to.
No, you just need to know.
I really need to know the concepts behind the foundational concepts behind why this is the way it is.
Right, and I can't even function without knowing those things.
Well, not that I won't question it. If I disagree with it, I question it. If I don't, I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but the thing is, like, it doesn't even matter about agreeing or disagreeing. It's just some people need to know the rules, right? They learn by the rules. This is the rule. You do this thing, and then after that, you do this thing, and after that, you do this thing. Some people need to know you do this, and then after these things happen, then it's time to employ this thing, and then after this thing happens, you'll start to see this happen, and then you'll employ this next thing. Like, they need to know why everything is happening that they're doing. Right. And some people don't give a fuck about that. They just want to know the steps. I do. Yeah. I'm baking a cake, right? Well, I put this much flour, this much sugar, this much this.
So like when I one aspect of my job is being over this one department that makes kits, almost like so say a company orders.
No, keep that close.
Some company wants like a kit of something, and there's like 6 components you throw in this box, and they have to be arranged in the box in a certain way.
Yeah.
I show them what the end result looks like. I show them how I do it. And I tell them this every single time is these are the things that have to be in this box. And this is what the finished product should look like.
Yeah. That's
all that I tell them.
That's how I would teach,
because sometimes creativity and ingenuity comes into play where they find a faster way to, package the materials in there in a certain way, or the order that they want to put the things in the box, or the way that they want to orient it to where it looks the exact same way. And, hey, great, man, you found a faster way to do it. By all means, do it. But then you got some people who are just a stickler for the rules. Well, this is the way we've always done it. You have to do it this way.
Yeah, that's that extreme, like gold personality that you're sticking by the rules. This is
right.
This is the way it is. Now, the way that I've always taught people, and you can tell me if it's right or wrong, and anybody listening can fucking email us and tell us if it's right or wrong.
I'm ready to tell you.
I've always went of like, okay, this is what we're doing, or this is what we're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
You start here, you do this, you do this, you do this. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to come ask me.
Okay.
And then I'll leave them with it. So they're there with it, and I know they're probably going to get confused at some point, but they're going to come ask me at the point where they're not sure what to do on their own, because nobody's just going to come ask you every fucking thing, right? Or anybody worth hiring's not. They're gonna try to do it as much on their own as they can, which means they're figuring it out on their own, which means they're learning it on their own, and then they say, "What do I do here?" And I'm like, "Okay, you do. Okay, you ran to this issue." You do this, because nothing ever works out perfectly, right? There's always something.
Right.
Okay, you ran this issue. You're going to have to do this. Because this is what we're trying to accomplish, right? So you got to do this and you got to do this. And I feel like when I'm doing that, then I'm teaching people the why. And if you can understand the why. Why are we trying to do this? And how do you accomplish while we're trying to do this? So I feel like if you can do that, then they can make decisions on their own. Then they don't have to ask anybody anything.
Now, from that standpoint, when I don't understand something or whatever, and I do ask the why, I need to know because if your logic doesn't line up with mine, I need to understand your logic in order to successfully do the job.
And I think anybody that's thinking for themselves,
right?
Have I been talking to my mic? Sorry, I feel
no, you're fine.
I feel like anybody that's they're not a robot is doing what you're doing. They got to understand the why, and then they got to figure out the how am I going to accomplish this.
Yeah,
right.
And I try to do my best at explaining the why up front. So you may think that this is about, but the reason why we're doing it this way is because this, and this. And as long as you can explain that logic to someone up front, they won't have those questions.
Yeah.
But on a job, you may not have time
you
to
may
explain every detail of why you do everything.
Not every
detail. I think that's what you're getting at. You wait until they run into a snag, and then you use that as an opportunity as a teaching opportunity.
Right. But because whenever they run into a snag and they come talk to you, you have never got so much attention from somebody in their life is when they come up in you and they're asking you a question of something that they've been staring at for 10 minutes.
They're struggling. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I have no idea.
And they hate to even ask you.
Right.
Because it's admitting they don't know.
Now, the reason why I'm not a good boss is because the people that just say like fuck it and they just do something.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I don't
know. Yeah, I want you to come at. So like when they don't care enough to even ask me, they're just like doing it. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it.
Wrong people necessarily.
That's why I'm bad. That's why.
But I think
any potential employers do not listen to this part of the podcast.
On a job, that's one thing. And then if you're a teacher like in a classroom setting, I think you need it. Like I like to take the time to understand how you got to this train of thought. Like if I were going to teach a kid about Halley's Comet, to tell them all the facts and to fact dump on them is not going to be all that impactful. But if I start going through that story about, Newton's laws of gravity were there, and then this guy Halley took those laws of gravity and applied them historically. He looked at this and this and this, and he applied them and he predicted, and he was right. It's way more exciting. They understand
true
how you get.
But there's going to be
there's
going to be those handful of kids in the class that don't give a fuck. They're just there for their A, and they don't give a shit.
So I guess what we're here to
tell me what needs to be on the test.
Right, is understanding every.
Yep.
I was that person. I didn't realize this.
See, and I mean, there's a lot of people like that.
Right, and I didn't realize this was that way until I was taking a MLT, which is machinery lubrication technician test prep, and my partner at work, we took this class together, and she was very much memorization of facts. So she would memorize all the terms,
that's Levi.
What they meant.
Levi's a memorizer,
and she knew how to pass the test from that perspective. My memory is not that great, and it just doesn't mean anything to me if all it is memorizing what facts mean, memorizing stuff. If I understand the concepts of why this is important, why you even should care about it, then it's going to stick with me so much more than if I just memorize a fact, because I'll forget a fact.
Yeah,
but a story is what I remember. Story and reason.
Well, sometimes people will explain the reason of why something is important to me, and then I'll question why is that important.
Right, but at the end of the day, and what we've known about you from this, I mean, we've known about you for a while, but what people know about you from this podcast is you really don't fucking care. What you care about is the job getting done, and how do you get that done? And what you know is you do this thing and you do this thing, and that gets the job done.
Yeah, you're not a guy that's going to sit around and ponder the meaning of life so much as it's like fucking life.
The thing is, that's not bad.
It depends on what it is.
The world needs those people. I mean, that's what is amazing to me.
Well, you did better in school than me
about the human race.
To be honest with you, this is not from a cocky standpoint, but from a school standpoint, there was we talked about like desire, ability, and knowledge. I feel like from a memory standpoint or whatever, there was more ability for me to, because like literally like we had a test. Me and Steven both didn't read this book. We were supposed to do a 50 question test.
Steven's his brother.
He's my twin brother. And graduated valedictorian, but me and him both had a similar gift with our memory. I think because I even had like a couple students who said, "I wish I had Levi's memory,ch I was like, well, that's very
Memory
nice,
is
very nice of you to say.
Massive gift, having a good memory.
But but like you said, like the context of something and stuff like that, and the importance of stuff like that.
Get on that, Mike.
I would literally just remember something just to remember it, and then whether it sticks with me or not is neither here nor there.
Right.
I remember a lot of random bullshit, and pull out from time to time and stuff like that. I remember a lot of things, but at the same time, like, does any of it have any meaning to me necessarily? Not so much, but like I was mentioning, me and my brother had a book that we didn't read. Test the next day. I listened to an audio book of Flags of Our Fathers, and took the test next day. And me and Steven both had the highest 2 tests in the class by a long shot. I think I missed 1 question, Steven missed 2, and then the next closest person was like a 90.
You just proved why school testing is bullshit.
Well, it was Mr. Lorenz's class. He was a little bit more stringent on details and facts
Don't
and stuff.
say
like that.
names like that in this podcast.
Well, nobody's gonna know who the fuck that is, but I mean,
had him.
it's great to like him.
Somebody will know, and we don't need to put names out there like that.
He's a fantastic
I had him for geography.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah, good guy. He actually taught my parents
Oh,
at
there you
Beach
go.
High School,
There you
so
go.
a long time.
Well,
but,
Yeah.
but anyways, the thing is, I don't even know where I was going with that. And to be honest with you, I've completely lost track of where we're going with this. But so memory in context, not so good on some things.
Well, we got still some more of that whiskey to finish there, so
We do.
you need to work on your glass a little bit. You got a little
I
more.
do have some observations, like you said, Jerry Seinfeld. They are very much Jerry Seinfeld observations.
Okay.
So
Is this going to be lighter? Because we
yeah,
need
it is as much lighter. So we were really heavy stuff. This is lighter. So I was thinking about something like I had told somebody that like, hey, can you get this done? I said, yeah, I'll get it done. Lickety split. Where did that phrase come from?
Lesbians.
And what
lickety split.
What does that mean?
It doesn't mean lesbians.
That's a lesbian term, isn't it?
I mean, it's definitely referring to licking pussy. It's got to be.
That doesn't mean you're a lesbian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Chad lickety splits a lot.
Yeah, just because you like to lick pussy doesn't mean you have a vagina.
Sure, I like to lick pussy.
Yeah, that's it.
But and saying you get it done lickety split is implied that it's fast, so it makes it sound like that it's fast.
You think that was like a vulgar term at one point?
I don't know. I just wonder how it came to fruition. Second observation I have is I noticed that a lot of mannequins nowadays are just got nipples.
Getting heavy set. Oh,
getting heavy set. They're making anatomically correct as far as like heavy set women, and then they're also putting nipples on everything.
I'm all right with that, but it's those male mannequins with the big dicks. That
was exactly my point. So a mannequin, it starts off with the word man, and we don't have cocks on these mannequins. How do y'all feel about that?
I'll tell you what I did though, and I didn't even tell you about this. I did like this for my own like Andy Kaufman style amusement. I was in Target, and this female mannequin had like tight yoga pants on, and I put like some socks or something inside of the yoga pants to make it look like it had a dick, and didn't tell anybody. I was alone. I never told a soul, and I just did this to be funny.
That is some Andy Kaufman like comedy. Well, I'm all right with that. If you're gonna have mannequins that give the perfect female body, then well, I don't know. Most of these male mannequins got like big biceps and big shoulders and big pecs and all that. So just because they're not showing a huge bulge doesn't mean they're not giving an unrealistic.
There's like Academy Sports has a couple of male mannequins that are like, fuck, dude, that mannequin's like,
he's fucking
jacked.
Yeah,
dude.
he's like owning this.
I'm jealous of this mannequin's body.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's true too.
But I'm liking that they have a little bit thicker female mannequins too, because I think like you need a little variety in life, even in your mannequins. I'll tell you another thing.
Should female mannequins actually be called mannequins, or should there be a different term?
Well, mannequins.
Well, mannequins.
I don't know that, but I'll tell you this: I like the pregnant belly mannequin that they have in Kohl's. Have you ever felt the belly on that thing?
No, because I'm not a freak,
dude. Go into Kohl's, any Kohl's, in the maternity section. They have a female pregnant mannequin.
Next time I'm poor,
female pregnant.
I'll make my way into. No, I'm just kidding. I've definitely been in the Kohl's many a time.
Kohl's is definitely not poor. Kohl's is.
Is it not? I
No,
don't
it's
know.
it's
Kohl's
rather
is
expensive. On
decently
some stuff.
priced. Like
Yeah,
Oh,
they have
is
some. They have some nice
it's
brands. You
below
got
the
cheaper
mall, but it's definitely above like a Target or a Ross or something like
yeah,
that.
but you have some
I'm
nice
bad with all
brands. You
this.
have like some Van
My-
Heusen, some Dockers, and some
Yeah.
mid-grade, luxury.
Yeah.
brands.
I
You
took
got
a
a suit
low
and
blow
tie
there
in there,
because
son.
my wife does all this for me, so I don't even have to think
Okay,
about it.
fair enough. Anyways, the belly feels so good. It's like a memory foam belly, dude. I just
Weird,
want to
really?
Wait, it's not just like a
Hard plastic.
It's not
No,
hard
it's like
plastic.
memory foam, and my wife hates it because she's like so embarrassed that I want to rub on this thing for
Wait,
like 30
a
minutes.
real pregnant belly doesn't feel like memory foam.
This feels better than a real belly. It feels good.
Nope.
Hey,
Pregnant-
you realize how fucking weird that sounds.
Pregnant
Man, I
women
felt
belly-
on that. I felt on that pregnant mannequin
Yeah,
belly, and
dude.
man, it felt
Yeah,
so
pregnant
good.
women bellies feels more like hard plastic than it does like memory foam.
Right. If I had to take home any mannequin to just be able to rub
So
on,
if you were
it'd be
Will
this
Smith
pregnant
and I
one.
Am Legend, you're taking the pregnant mannequin home.
Hell yeah.
I don't understand this. I don't understand what's going on here at all. So wait, do you like the belly or do you like the softness of the belly?
I don't
Or
know.
do you like the
everything.
pregnancy
It
of it?
just feels good. I don't know. It just makes me feel not happy to rub on it.
So you want to be with a woman that's pregnant, but not actually pregnant, like
I don't-
soft
No,
pregnant.
I don't
So
want to be with a
you-
pregnant
so you
woman.
just
You want a
wanna-
woman with a beer belly, is what you want.
Yeah, you want to
I'm
be
like-
with a fat woman,
I'm
but
like-
only fat in her belly.
I'm Bruce Willis, and I want to be with that chick he's with in Pulp Fiction that wanted a pot belly to bring this all back.
Yeah, but that would still be
Oh,
a
nice.
hard belly. It wouldn't be a memory foam belly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to rub on that mannequin's belly. Okay.
This is
Okay.
a weird fetish here.
All right.
that you
Go
got
rub.
going.
If you rub that belly, I guarantee you're on board with this.
All right.
Go into Kohl's this weekend.
I-
Rub that belly.
I'm
and
probably not
report
going
back.
to, but if I am in Kohl's, I will certainly seek it out
There you
and
go.
find it and report it. I probably won't be able to do it by the next podcast because I haven't been in Kohl's in a long
Make a special
time.
trip. What else you gonna do?
What am I gonna do? All right,
Go-
everybody. Hey, we got to make a stop here, family. Y'all need anything at Kohl's?
Go to
No!
Ross, and then
Well,
meander
we're going
over there.
anyways.
Because Daddy's got to rub this pregnant
Daddy,
mannequin
yeah,
belly.
Daddy's got to go. Y'all go do your own thing while Daddy's rubbing this pregnant mannequin belly
So I guess
to
I
feel
guess I'm
how
a-
not authentic it
I
is.
guess I'm a weirdo.
It's not authentic. That's what I don't get. It doesn't.
Well, I'm not rubbing it because it feels like a real pregnant belly.
Well,
I'm rubbing
no,
it
I
because
mean,
it feels good.
But
to
but
me.
that, but that'd be like TJ going to like a breast implant place and just like playing with the breast implants, and then just be all of a sudden, I just like it.
I do. I like it. It's like you want a fat belly, but not fat anything
I don't
else.
want the person to have this belly. I just like the feel of the rub. I like to rub this belly.
Oh, so it's kind of
Oh,
like it's
memory
kinda,
foam like
well,
belly.
I
Well,
kind of understand what you're saying because like this
I
is
don't
weird for
understand what
me.
you're saying at all.
But like
It doesn't make any
when you go
sense.
into Tractor Supply or whatever, it is kind of gross. But like putting your hands into like the bird seeds and stuff like that.
Is that what it's like? I know what he's talking about. That does feel good.
Thank you.
Kinda.
Okay.
Kinda.
No,
it's
it's like,
a weird-
it's like when you got the like the bin of Tide Pods and you put your hand inside that.
Right.
Have you ever done
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
It feels amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, and you're right, like birdseed or like
okay.
a bunch of- a bunch of
Even
so my
at, even
wife
even at
didn't
our
get it
even
either.
at our former employer, I'd stick it like my hand down into the
Silica
silica
gel,
gel pellets or whatever. Like, man, this is cool.
yeah.
It's
So
just kind of
my
Is that
wife,
what you're doing here?
My wife would say.
I was never turned on by any
No,
of these
listen.
things. Though.
She got. I wasn't
No,
turned. I didn't say I was turned on. For God's sakes. My wife said.
Yeah, I feel like this was exactly what you were.
I think
leading
I
up
think
to.
you're aroused by this.
So wait, hold on.
You're making the same mistake.
No, hold on.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Look on the floor.
I feel like we
No,
need.
no, no, the floor. My wife said, "Do you want me to go up to the male mannequins and rub their crotches?" I'm like, "How's that even comparable? It's not like I'm rubbing the pussy of this damn mannequin. I'm rubbing the pregnant belly of this mannequin." And to her, it was sexual too. And you guys immediately jumped to sexual. Why does everyone jump to sexual? Because they like to rub the belly.
I'm not lying. I immediately jumped sexual. I thought this was
Why?
100%
It's not
sexual.
sexual. I'm not turned on. I don't have a boner when I'm doing this.
So wait, so if
Now-
it was
now-
It feels
socially
good.
if it was socially acceptable, you would just rub random pregnant women's bellies.
No, because they don't feel like this memory foam belly.
So you just got a thing for memory foam.
I got a thing for the mannequin belly inside of Kohl's. Okay.
So I
No,
mean,
no,
if
no.
you go into there's just a bunch of memory foam pillows. You just touching them all, like you just into this.
Probably.
Yeah,
If one of them feels
I
as good
get
as-
that because you
if
just
one
put
of
your
If one of them feels as good as this belly, it's good.
What?
Now-
Good job
It's
getting me
memory
the
foam.
lead.
I don't
and
think they
now-
got a special
now-
thing.
Good job getting me the lead.
Now, TJ, I got a question. Okay, so you've obviously felt this belly
Yeah.
and found out that it was mirror foam.
Yeah.
At any point, did you punch this pregnant woman
No.
in the
How
belly?
dare I? No, I'd never do that.
Well, you just want to see how much it would spring back.
No, I just like to feel it. I don't want to punch it.
Okay, just checking your sanity check.
Can we go to the next thing?
Okay.
No, I love this entire conversation.
No, fuck this. Go to the
No,
next thing.
this is great. Wait, I don't really know where to go from here. But I mean, how do
were
you,
were you at any point licking the mannequin toes? At any point,
that's a whole
Okay,
separate
okay.
thing.
Yeah,
But I just want to know.
Does
No,
the mannequin have club feet? Is that what's
No,
happening?
my
It's just
last
a
thing-
solid
Yeah.
plastic.
my last thing is, how do you compare this mannequin belly to putting your hand in the feed, like Levi said, or the Tide Pods? Is this in any way comparable, or is this a whole different thing?
It's similar. It's similar to that
Well-
feeling. So I think that's a fair comparison.
So maybe you just want like just a big handful of memory foam. Is that it? I'm like, is that the thing? Like the memory
I
foam?
can't explain it. Why do people like what they like?
I don't know, but I want to know. That's why I'm asking you questions.
Yeah,
I
I
want to
don't-
know why people like what they like.
I typically like to explain why I like something, but it
You-
just feels good to me.
You're on top of your microphone. So
We're like so bush league here. Everybody's fucking up on their mics
I know.
tonight.
I know. Well, we're at that later point in the show.
Yeah,
Though.
but no one's listening by this point anyway. Surely not.
I'm sure that.
What are you looking up? What are you googling?
So there's a Rhett and Link video, a Good Mythical Morning, where they had an episode where they were talking about things that were oddly satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole subreddit.
Yeah,
the oddly
yeah.
satisfying.
and it's pretty interesting when you watch some
Yeah.
of them. You'd just be like, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. I would like one of them was like cutting the green styrofoam, like the plant foam or whatever, and like being able to like wet it down and like crunch it and stuff like that with your hands.
Yeah, but
I mean,
some of
weird
it's
stuff.
like putting like
That's
a
almost cringy.
puzzle piece in
Or-
the middle of like a puzzle that's already done, but like one piece in the middle isn't.
Yeah,
and
those
you're like,
feel good actually.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it feels so good.
Or like one was they had this like thing spinning and it was a cake or whatever, and they put icing and it made like a spiral thing, and you're just watching it make a perfect spiral, and they're just literally holding it there, and people are just like, oh yeah, that's cool looking. Or cutting into a Stretch Armstrong, cutting his arm open or something like that, and people are like, yeah, yeah,
That's funny.
I wanted to
Never
do
done
that.
that.
Yeah, but there's all that kind of weird shit. So
I think I like the point when you're like stirring like an instant mashed potato and it becomes real smooth. I like that point.
I don't like instant mashed potatoes. That grosses me.
no,
the fuck out.
actually, it's pretty good. They're actually
I'm
really good.
surprised.
No,
I've
they're
come,
not good.
I've come around on it.
Nope, they're
Yeah.
terrible.
Hey, I'm gonna give
I
you a
like 'em
blind
too.
taste. I'm gonna give you a blind taste test on some potatoes, and you're gonna tell me which ones.
I think I could
Next
taste the,
podcast.
I think I could tell the difference, but I like
Next
I like
podcast.
instant potatoes
And,
too.
I mean, unless you give me some shitty real potatoes,
I'm
then
gonna
I
give you
mean,
some shitty real potatoes where you won't be able to tell the difference.
well, then I don't
the
want
truth.
those either. I don't want anything that tastes shitty.
oh, boys.
But I have
You got something else?
I have a couple more. Let's just
shit.
go ahead and get
So
into it.
where are we at?
Who
here?
We're
cares? Who
roughly
cares?
three.
We're at the 3 hour mark, but
Oh,
whatever.
it's getting about time to wrap this up. Then.
No,
Okay, go ahead.
He's
Go
got a
ahead.
couple more.
But
though.
it's good shit. All right, so I got just a couple observations. We don't have to talk about it for super long.
Exactly 3 hours.
All right,
Holy
so,
shit! That was. I didn't even look. I just guessed.
So
I know we've
I
been
was
doing it this long.
I was thinking about Arby's sandwich.
Hope Solo.
You guys ever had the beef curds or
Hope
whatever?
Solo, the soccer player.
Some nudes of her legs back in the day.
And they called it roast beef curtains or whatever.
and she
Because
looked like the
Michael
big
said something.
Montana sandwich from our.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well. So
I'm sorry, that was.
I just thought about something.
a
Is,
random
so
joke.
That's
so
not even fair, though. Why would anybody say that about it?
if you get the
I don't know. That's
if you go to Arby's and you get the beef dip au jus sandwich or whatever and stuff like that, is that the only time that you would actually order something and you said yes, I would like the meat sweat on the side?
meat sweat.
Yeah, because that's what au jus is. It's meat sweat. It's
Well, I don't know. I mean,
it's sweat off meat and then you dip it.
I
the
mean, we
sandwich back
make
into it.
French dips at home. Like my wife makes the meat and buys the bread and then makes the au jus
Broth.
sauce. And we
He's
dip.
trying to make a meat sweat joke.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what he's
it's
trying to
good.
do
Yeah,
here.
it's the only sandwich
you're
that you
taking
want.
literal.
You want to dip it in meat sweat and ingest it. Is that the
Yeah.
only time you want to ingest meat sweat voluntarily?
I don't know.
TJ,
I don't know what.
TJ
Yeah, I guess.
just meat sweat anytime.
I don't know what a jus sauce really is. So I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
typically broth.
Isn't
And,
it? I thought it was
and,
like a gravy.
I mean, it tastes good. I don't like you buy the packet of the whatever.
So-
and then
yeah,
you
like a
make
boy
it.
on cue almost.
So typically, if you're
Yeah.
like cooking beef or whatever, the sauce that drips down into the pan, that's typically what they make au jus sauce
Okay.
out of. So meat sweat. But anyways,
Sorry, I
no,
Whatever.
joke
no,
didn't
no,
I
like
think
'cause
it's
I didn't know
good.
what a jus was.
All right,
That's
so
good.
I'm all right. Yeah, I want the
do you
beef
guys ever get pissed off when using automatic dispensers like paper towels, water,
Yes.
and and soap.
Yes.
Generally.
Yeah, I do.
Because
every
like
time.
I understand from a germ standpoint, like
This isn't
it's
Seinfeld,
kosher,
like,
it is kosher and stuff like that. Like you're not getting your hands germified and stuff like that. But I hate the fact that when you get you have motion sensor for water, it only stays on for so long, and you have no jurisdiction over the temperature of the water. It's predetermined. There's no like, oh, I want hot and cold or whatever. It just comes out at a certain temperature. What if I want some cold water?
I'll jurish your
Some
diction.
cold water.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm more bothered by the when they have it dialed where it only gives you like a little half-ass napkin.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, exactly.
shit,
Like
I can't dry my hands on
it's
this.
complete
I hit it
bullshit. And they're like,
4 times to get a
Because
decent napkin.
well, they're banking on you giving up
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
taking that.
I
little-
never give up.
well, and the same thing with like the soap, like motion to sense soap. I mean, most of the time a soap dispenser didn't even fucking work, but you're sitting there like,
I'm good. I'm good on the
And it
soap, but I'm
spits
good
out.
on the amount of water typically and the temperature. But it's the napkins that gets me.
And-
so.
yeah.
Hey, to completely change subjects, I want to go back to what we said earlier. Man on Fire, I'm pretty sure is the movie that I was talking about. That's the movie where Denzel Washington is the bodyguard for that little girl.
Nah, I think you're right.
It came to me earlier. Like,
Why don't we just Google it? the
Yeah,
whole
we should
time?
have.
wait, that's
All right.
not fun.
I got two
fair
more
enough.
things.
I've got
we can call it a thing. So, what do you guys
Two.
think?
Well, we got to get these before we can go.
Let's-
I don't wait. Let's roll to see if you do them or not.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, we rolled, and by the way, before this episode started,
Yeah. Okay.
We-
Wait. Hold on. Tell the story. Like,
so Chad bought a 20-sided die
because I'm nerdy as fuck.
because
And I
he
needed a
thought
good
this would
reason.
be a good opportunity for us to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of y'all brought in like gross food or anything.
Yeah, we could have
Nah,
like a
not
food
this
challenge
time.
and say, oh, like who's got to eat it? Whoever rolls the lowest number or something like that.
Right.
But anyways, we rolled at the start and said, scale 1 to 20, how good is this episode going to be? Essentially,
Yeah. I
Chad
said that.
rolled it, got a 1.
Nat
It's the
one.
number
Son.
one
I'll
episode.
tell you,
Nat one.
I'm not disagreeing with it. I think
It's probably pretty garbage.
we'll see.
I don't
Time
know.
will
It's
tell.
probably pretty. And Nat one though. No, I mean it's
It's
got to
better
be
than
better.
one.
It's got to be better
at
than
least
some of the
3.
episodes we decided not
nah,
release.
absolutely. Even before this episode's over, like I mean, we
So we're
jump
not
from
hammered.
subject to
Of course,
subject,
we ain't
but I mean,
put-
it's good.
We still got a lot more whiskey and we hadn't hit stop yet.
Yeah, we got
so
to
it could get
yeah.
it could get worse.
So the other two things I was going to get into is this one I can lump into one is double drive-throughs and Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, I feel like no matter what time of day I go to Chick-fil-A, it could be a Sunday when they're fucking closed and a line will be wrapped around the building.
Wait on them to open.
And
the next
waiting for
day.
it.
That's because
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A is amazing.
Yeah.
But why is it amazing? Is it really that amazing, or are people just like? I mean, is it really that much better?
Well,
because
really?
I think
because it tastes
I mean, it's
good.
good. I
and
agree.
People
It's
treat
good.
you like you're a
Yeah.
fucking.
The food is consistently the same is one thing.
But
But
is it-
anytime you have consistency in like what you order is what you get is always
Well,
going to be a positive.
Right.
Well,
They're
consistency
treating you
with
like you're
anything.
paying $15 for a sandwich that you're paying $4 for.
Well, no,
That's
you
true.
ain't paying no fucking $4. You're gonna pay like $7 for a fucking sandwich. They're
Just for a sandwich by itself.
I think it's like, I mean, with tax and
Oh,
everything,
it's
like
worth whatever they charge.
$5.29.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because they're
Uh,
nice as shit. And you go in the bathroom and you take a leak in a clean toilet.
And you get,
the
you can get some mouthwash in the bathroom.
yeah,
for
you get
God's sakes.
mouthwash. You get
Well,
everything.
I'm not saying it's not worth it, but I'm just saying that the, I mean, it's good, but I don't think it's as
So your issue with double drive-throughs? Are you talking about like where McDonald's
Where it's
has
split.
2?
Yeah, I
and
don't
then
like
they go
it.
to 1.
I don't like it because
I don't like it.
and I'll tell you why, because I half the time I feel like, all right, me and this guy pull up at the same time. I order, hey, I want a sausage biscuit and a coffee at McDonald's. And the next thing I pull, it's my turn to pull forward. Me and him are kind of at the same spot. I heard you still ordering your shit over here, and you know that I was done, and I done put my nose in my car right at the
It's
bumper of this
amazing
other one,
how they get it right most of the time, though.
right? And you would think for the employees inside that they would fuck it up a lot.
Yeah, they're usually pretty good.
I think
They're
it's what
usually
you get
pretty
for going and eating fast food all the time. That's this. You shouldn't be eating this shit.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
There's a ton
I
of
mean,
carbs in this.
I haven't ate fast food in 2 weeks now, and
Good job.
Levi's dropped 12 pounds in 2 weeks, man.
yeah, it's been good. I'm tired of shit right now,
That's
but
good.
but I mean,
Cut them carbs, son.
but yeah,
I'm
which
telling
is
you,
a weird thing.
I'm telling you, you can lose a ton of weight by just going on a diet that's called "Don't eat anywhere that has a drive-through." Not doesn't. I fucked that part up. Don't eat anywhere that has a drive-through. You limit your diet to places that don't have a drive-through, and you're going to
Yeah,
cut weight.
That would be fine.
immediately.
But you can also do decent in a few places
Well,
that have
well,
drive-through.
well,
You can,
well,
you can, but I mean, it just
you can
as
go
a
to
simple
Chick-fil-A and
as a
get
simple
that.
rule.
They're-
okay, well, case in
they're
point, to avoid
grilled
carbs,
tenders
I
and-
did
Well, they
I
got
did
good salads too.
I
Yeah.
did avoid carbs in some form or fashion. I ordered some buffalo wings without, not breaded, just regular buffalo wings. Buffalo sauce doesn't have really any carbs at all. It's just basically vinegar and peppers is essentially what it is. And I think for 8 wings, it was a total of 3 carbs. So I mean, it's nothing.
But there's still something about fast food places though, because y'all know I've been off fast food for a while, but I needed to eat something, and I went to a Zaxby's and I got a salad, just a grilled chicken salad. It's a salad, but that's what they fucking call it. So you're looking at me like I'm being a pretentious asshole, but I'm just saying what it's called. And so I eat it, and I'm like, this is good. Like, and I felt good about it. They give you the bread. I think they give you the bread with it.
They do on certain ones.
Yeah,
On like a chef salad, they give you the piece of toast. But on
I didn't
Caesar
eat
salad, they don't because there's croutons.
Right.
If they don't have croutons, they give you the bread.
Okay. Well, I think I eat the croutons, but I don't know. I didn't eat the bread. I know I didn't eat any bread. And so I eat that, and I'm like, I feel pretty good about myself. And I barely got back to where I was going before I was about to shit my fucking pants off. And I did. Like,
well, I'll tell you what.
But you got the fried salad, though. Probably.
No, grilled.
Grilled salad?
Grilled chicken salad.
Salad. Well, I will
No
say,
tomatoes.
I will say for me, like one particular hard part of me dieting and not having.
Where y'all
any
at on
carbs-
this whiskey? Y'all need to fucking.
This
Yeah,
is
there you go. I
last
got both
4.
y'all on this. Mine's. Oh shit. Well, they both just killed theirs.
All right, so
Well, I was gonna ready to pour some more, but
so one tough part.
I'm pouring it for everybody. If I'm pouring it for me.
Yep. One tough part about.
Yep.
And whatever, man. Just pour the shit. Let's go. One tough part for me for the diet is the fact that I can't eat salad.
What's the matter with salad?
Crohn's.
Yeah. So basically, any form of roughage, such as or anything that's got like a thick skin on it. So like lettuce, cabbage, bell peppers with the skin and stuff like that. Corn, all those kind of things just tear straight through me. Like I can't eat them.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I love them to death, and dairy bothers me really bad. So, but I've previously ate ice cream, ate all those things, and I mean, it'll fuck my stomach up. But I've pretty much abstained from all of that. So, this diet, since I've started the keto, has been weird. It's been a little difficult for me. So, like most of everything I've ate has either been tuna, cheese, meat of some form or fashion, and vegetables such as cauliflower or broccoli. That's pretty much been my entire diet. I've not ate literally anything outside that. I've ate chicken, grilled chicken, and stuff
pork
like that.
rinds, son.
I hate pork rinds.
You don't like pork rinds?
I don't like pork rinds.
It's really good though that doesn't have any carbs in it. Whiskey.
Does it have any carbs?
Yeah.
No.
Are you sure? It's got some sugar. It's got some sugar in
It's gotta
it.
have carbs.
Dude, whiskey has like almost no carbs in it.
Okay, well, cool.
Yeah.
Now I know beer has a shit ton of carbs.
Yes, beer has a shit.
Now that's why I only drank one, and I feel bad about it already. But
I'm trying to find
But
my
one's
phone
not
so
bad.
I can,
prior to this today, before that Red Bull, I'd only consumed 6 carbs, so I don't feel super bad about it anyway. People even on extreme keto diets just try to stay under 20 carbs. They say stay under 50 and you're fine. I've been pretty
How many
aggressive with
carbs are in whiskey?
See what it says.
0 grams of total carbohydrate in 1 fluid ounce.
Nice.
Suck on that, bitch.
Crazy.
There you go.
Yeah, I would have thought that there'd be
Just
some
don't
sugar
just
or
don't
something.
put any mixer in your whiskey and you're good.
Oh, sweet.
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go on a straight whiskey diet.
But-
you can do it.
Whiskey River.
Now
take my
it's got
mind.
a decent amount of calories in
Now-
it, but
I don't have it on this push note, but one question I did have. I went and saw Detective Pikachu over last weekend.
I think we're gonna see that
that a
this
movie?
weekend. Yeah, Detective Pikachu.
It's a good.
It sounds really stupid.
If you my kids want to see it just as much as I did. Now I will say I was meh.
Oh, really?
From a nostalgia standpoint, it's very cool, but the plot is very well overplayed and it's very predictable.
Well, we're gonna watch it with them. I know
But it's
when me and my wife went and watched the Endgame, then next Avengers,
the Avengers.
I got to the point where I was like, all right, I've got to piss. Like this is a good lull point in the movie to go piss. And when I got out to piss, all the Detective Pikachu people were getting out of their movie.
Really?
Yeah. Well, dude, that movie's like 3 hours long.
The Detective Pikachu?
No.
Endgame.
The Endgame
Endgame.
is like
Okay.
3 hours long. So I was just like, dude, like this movie's just starting to get like going. And
Yeah.
these people are like done with
Done
their
with their
entire movie. Like who's
God
getting their
dang.
money's worth?
Yeah.
Bitches.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, personally, I wanted to see Endgame. I I read some stuff about some of the stuff that happened, so I had some spoilers.
See,
that
you're
got
fucking
messed-
yourself up.
You
That's
quit
why.
reading.
No,
That's
no,
why I went to see it because I'm like, there's no way I'm not going to get spoiled.
Well, so for me, there were a couple things that just got ruined for me from just break room conversation. Two people who saw the movie said it, and I was just like, "Fuck!" Well, that,
yeah,
that
people were
ruined that
assholes.
part.
Well, fucking the new
Well-
Spider-Man trailer spoils like a big part of it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, I'm always looking on Netflix and I'll be like, this movie looks interesting. My wife's like, well, what's it about? And I'm like, I don't know, but I see the picture and the net title, and I don't want to see anymore because if it looks interesting, I just want to watch
You're
it.
talking over your mic.
Yeah,
But now you sound good.
How am I doing now? How am I
Yeah.
talking over? I'm drunk, boys.
Well, I mean, I was just listening, like you just hearing it through my headphones. Is what I'm saying. Now you're talking.
look, hey, that's
now
a
you're
vocal fry shit right there, man.
Oh, you are vocal frying.
You guys, I don't
So wait,
even
if you're vocal frying, you got to sound like you're the grunge ghost.
Yeah. What's the grunge guy?
Oh, that's awful. You can't keep doing that.
That's the norm.
that's
Fuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's dude, that's tearing me up here.
But Chad.
Oh God,
I hate this.
Yeah,
How dare
I hate this with everything.
Hey guys, real talk. I love y'all, but we're ending this right now. So
Yeah,
No, we need to. Yeah, for sure.
Arrivederci. I want to get some
we gotta look
food
at
up
the
in our
cam.
system. What?
We gotta look at the cam.
Hey,
I want to
Hey, peeps.
end this.
Hey, we got one comment on there. I didn't notice that. Who's that?
Oh,
Somebody named Tommy E said hello.
Oh,
Hello, Tommy. E. I don't know if you're still.
Tommy!
Well, he's obviously not watching. It says 0 on the viewers. He was here long enough to just say hello.
That's weird.
Well, we wish we would have said hello to you sooner, but well, honestly, we don't care. But thanks for tuning in for all of
I'm glad
however long.
I'm glad I'm rubbing off on Levi.
Woo!
Did we even cheers the first time?
Yeah, we did.
Did we cheers?
Yeah, we did.
It's been too
We
long ago.
Yeah. That was like 5 hours ago.
Good shit.